So, good morning everyone. In the last class, we were discussing about the concept of volcanic eruption and volcanic landform. And we also covered certain points regarding exogenic forces. So, what is the difference between weathering and erosion? Fine. Deposition also, yes. And if weathering is an in situ process and erosion is what? Ex situ process. So that difference we have discussed between weathering and erosion. What is the difference between frost weathering and salt weathering? Frost weathering and salt weathering? Yeah, generally in mountain or cold areas you'll find frost weathering, and yeah, the crystallized salt will put pressure on the underlying rocks, and in case of the frost weathering, the ice and water conversion will put pressure on the underlying rocks. Clear? What is denudation? Erosion, yes. What is the difference between crater and caldera? The small portion of the correct. Crater and caldera also we have discussed. Where do you find the highlands? One example of highlands we have discussed. Africa, Ethiopian highlands. Yes, okay. So we discussed highlands are also formed due to what? Due to volcanic landforms. When the rain will be called as a acidic rain? Yeah, pH level is less than 5.8, then it is going to be called as what? Acidic. Yes. So those points we have discussed with regard to what? With regard to the volcanic eruption, and we discussed something called mantle plume also. What is mantle plume? What is a mantle plume? It's a mushroom shape. Yeah, the small convectional current that is generated in the mantle and spreading, taking a shape of mushroom, is called as a mantle plume. What is the difference between normal volcanism and hotspot volcanism? Hotspot volcanism is inside of the crust. Normal volcanism will come outside. No. Hotspot volcanism within interior of plate, while the normal volcanism will be on the margins of the plate. The convectional current generated in a normal volcanism will be much more, while in case of what? In case of hotspot volcanism, we discuss the mantle plume. The small convectional current will be generated. Then we discuss hotspot volcanism generally occurs at a fixed location, while the normal volcanism keeps on changing its place. So those differences we have discussed between hotspot volcanism and normal volcanism. Fine. Now we'll start. Last class we ended with concept of running water. We ended with concept of what? Running water, and we discussed water is okay. What? Water is the agent of erosion, and when we discuss water moves from one location to other location, what happens? It erodes and also deposit things. It erodes also and it also deposit things. That's why the water is called as single most important agent of erosion.
single most important agent of erosion or most important agent of erosion? So water is okay being called as a single most important. Is it visible? Which color is visible?
So you can make it.
Okay, I'll make it. So this red color is fine, or which color is fine? Pink. This is fine. Okay. So what you see is okay. Single most important agent of erosion is water. Why water is called as a single most important agent of erosion? Where do you see water flowing? You can see water flowing in the mountains also. In the mountains also you see water is flowing. In desert, can you find a river? In desert, can you find a river flowing? Yes, River Nile. River Nile flows where? This is your desert, and River Nile flows like this in the Mediterranean. So you'll in the desert also you'll see rivers can flow. Clear? Like in India, Thar Desert, you'll see a river flowing called as a Luni River. So Luni River flows okay in Indian Thar Desert. So in desert, rivers can also flow in what? In desert area. Rivers can also flow in mountain areas. Rivers can flow in rural areas? Yes. Can river flow in urban areas? Yes. So water is something that you find across things. Clear? For example, other agent of erosion. What are the other agent of erosion we have discussed? We have discussed wind. We have also discussed glacier. Where do you find glacier? On the mountain. Can you find it in urban areas, rural areas? No. Where do you find wind? Where you find wind? Yes. Okay, you find wind. Okay, in other certain what certain urban areas also, rural areas also. But wind requires what? Wind requires the unrestricted flow. If buildings are there, more things are there, then what will happen? It will block the flow of mountains are there, then what will happen? It will block the flow of winds. Clear? So winds require somewhat empty space to have an action. Clear? So that is why water is considered as what? Water is considered as a single most important agent of erosion. Water is considered as a single most important agent of erosion because it is dominant everywhere. Wind is dominant in certain location, let's say in desert areas, let's say in areas where not much of the restriction is there to flow of wind, but okay, the desert, as we discussed, glacier is dominating in certain area, but river is something, or running water is something that is dominant everywhere. So that's why it is called as a single most important agent of erosion. Fine. Now, when rivers are flowing, what you see is okay, you can see different patterns, drainage patterns can be formed when rivers are flowing, and these are called as what? These are called as a pattern, dendritic drainage pattern or concordant. So two of the pattern we are going to right now discuss is dendritic and rectangular or trellis drainage pattern that you have to keep in mind. There is a lot of drainage pattern as we progress in Indian geography. We'll discuss about a lot of drainage pattern, but currently just keep in mind the two important drainage pattern that you're going to find is dendritic drainage pattern or tree-like. Now this type of drainage pattern, as we discussed, is called as a tree-like drainage pattern. Why it is called as a tree-like drainage pattern? Why it is called as a tree-like drainage pattern? It branches out, like tree is branching out like that. You see this type of stream is something that is branching out. So this particular main part of the river is called as which type of stream? Consequent stream. This main river is called as which stream? Consequent stream. And the tributaries which comes and joins the river, they are referred as what? Insequent stream. They are referred as which stream? Insequent stream. Clear? So running water is what? Running water, when it is moving, it can move in various type. When it can move in various type, it will form a pattern, and this is referred as what? This is referred as a drainage pattern. This is referred as a drainage pattern, and we call it as what? Which type of pattern? Dendritic drainage pattern or tree-like drainage pattern. Clear? So like tree branches are there, like that rivers are also flowing. Clear? The main stream is called as a consequent, the coming tributary which is coming and joining is called as a in-sequence stream. Fine. Tributaries means small river. Okay, the small rivers which comes and joins the main river is called as a tributaries. Clear? For example, we say that Ganga has a tributary which river which is called as a Gomti river. So Gomti river comes and joins Ganga river. Clear? So Gomti is called as a tributary of Ganga. Lucknow, the UP capital is situated on this river, Gomti river. Clear? So the tributaries are basically which are coming and joining the main river. Clear? But when main river flows like this, and let's say main rivers branches out like this, then what will happen? Let's say main river branches out like this, then what will happen? Then it is referred as distributary. Then it is referred as what? Distributary. So tributary means it is coming and joining the main river. When main river branches out like this, then it is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a distributary. Fine. So this type of drainage pattern is called as what? This type of drainage pattern is called as a dendritic drainage pattern. Where you will find this type of dendritic drainage pattern? In which type you find, in which area you will find this type of dendritic drainage pattern? Generally in area where you'll see what? Generally in area where you'll see rocks are homogeneous in nature. Where rocks are homogeneous in nature, there you're going to find what we call as a dendritic drainage pattern. Wherever rocks are homogeneous in nature. Homogeneous means what? The rocks are made up of same type of material. So that's why we call it as a homogeneous rocks. So when it is the same type of material, river can erode it from anywhere. So when rivers can erode it from anywhere, then it is going to form which type of pattern? Dendritic drainage pattern. Clear? Let's say river, if the rock is consisting of what? If a rock is consisting of, let's say, harder rocks and softer rock, then what will happen? Different material. Harder rock and softer rock. Then the river will erode which part? Softer part. It will not be able to erode the harder part. So that's why you will find different type of pattern. Clear? But when rocks are homogeneous, river can erode it from anywhere, and that's when you're going to find which type of pattern? Dendritic drainage pattern. Fine. Now, but this type of pattern is called as a rectangular drainage pattern or tree-laced drainage pattern. So when rocks are harder and softer, then it is going to be called as a rectangular drainage pattern or tree-laced drainage pattern. Clear? For example, if you have studied like this structure in case of your physics, clear? Like current flows like this. You know that this is voltage, this is resistance. We have discussed this formula is what? V is equals to IR, Ohm's law. Okay, so voltage is equals to current into resistance. Now when current is flowing, current is going to take this path or current is going to take this path? To resistance. Why do you think? When current is moving, current is generating from here, current will take this path or current will take this path? Shorter path. Which is shorter path? Let's say this is over here, then it is not over here, this is over here, then shorter path will be this path. If current will always takes what we call as a least resistance path. The path where least resistance is there, that's where you see current always flow. So this path occurs what resistance. That's why the current will move from this, entire current will move from this area rather than this area, because current will always takes a least resistance path. Similarly, when rivers are also flowing, rivers will always takes which type of path? Least resistance path. Why? Because rivers is flowing, it has to move. When it has to move, if harder rocks are going to be there, then what will happen? It will obstruct their movement. So always the rivers is going to take which type of path? Least resistance path, that is okay there. Clear? So when rocks are homogeneous, river can erode it from anywhere. But when rocks are harder, then the rivers will take what? A softer route to flow. Rivers will take a softer route to flow. Clear? So this is where harder thing is there. This is where harder thing is there. So river will take which path? The softer part to nothing but okay flow. So it is which type of flow? You see 90 degrees being made. So which type of pattern? Rectangle pattern. So it is going to okay which type of pattern? Rectangular pattern. So that's why it is called as a rectangular or tree-lies drainage pattern. It is called as a rectangular or tree-lies drainage pattern. Fine. So where you're gonna see rectangular or tree-lies drainage pattern? Where the rocks are not homogeneous, made up of harder and softer rock. Where rocks are homogeneous, there you are going to see which type of drainage pattern. Where rocks are homogeneous, there you're going to see which type of drainage pattern. You are going to see the dendritic drainage pattern. So these are two common drainage patterns, but there are other drainage pattern also. Let's say from one point, if many rivers are originating, then it will be called as what? If one point many rivers are originating, that it is going to be called as a radial drainage pattern. Then it is called as what? Radial drainage pattern. Clear? So from one point, if many streams are originating, then such type of drainage pattern are referred as what? Radial drainage pattern. So that is also one type of drainage pattern. Clear? So we'll take up this type of pattern we'll take up later. This will take up later. For example, when we'll come to Indian geography, you'll study about something called a plateau over here called as Amarkantak Plateau. Amarkantak Plateau. So you'll find a plateau over here which is called as a Amarkantak Plateau. From this plateau, you'll see Narmada also originating. From this plateau, you'll also see Son River originating. Son River flows like this. Narmada River flows like this. So from the same point, you see one river, another stream. Then it forming which type of drainage pattern? Radial drainage pattern. So from the same point, if many streams are originating, then it is going to be called as a radial drainage pattern. So a lot of drainage patterns are there, but we'll take up later. For right now, just remember when rivers are flowing, not originating. When rivers are flowing, they can form okay which type of drainage pattern? Either dendritic drainage pattern or rectangular or trellis drainage pattern. Fine. So that is what you are seeing. So this type of drainage pattern is called as what? This type of drainage pattern is called as a trellis drainage pattern. So you can see this is harder rock. River has eroded which type of rock? Softer part. Now river is flowing like this. So this stream is called as a consequent. This is called as nothing but okay insequent. The main stream is called as a consequent. The other stream that is coming and joining is called as a insequent stream. Fine. So here you can see we discussed when the rocks are coming off harder and softer rock. So this black color is a harder one. The one which is eroded is softer part. Fine. So if question comes like this, which of the following is the single most important agent of erosion? Running water. Yes. Okay. So answer will be what? Running water is the most important, or if question comes like this, most important agent of erosion. So remember that it is going to be running water. Why it is running water? Because we discussed river can flow through any areas, and that's why they have a lot of erosion capacity and deposition capacity. Clear? Any doubt regarding this part? Now, what is the reason why water moves? What is the reason why water moves? Running water, it is a gravity. So what you see is okay, water originating from the mountain. Why it is moving down? It is moving down under the influence of gravity. Clear? So when water is moving down, what you see is it can carry different type of what? Different type of loads. When water is moving down, it can carry different type of loads. We call it as a material in solution, material in suspension, and the last is what? Material that is bigger pebble stones or rocks. So these are the things rivers can what? Rivers can take it up. So let's say this is okay, river originating from here. When river is coming down, it can contain certain solution. Last class we discussed solution weathering. So solution means what? Homogeneous mixture. We discussed, let's say any minerals, let's say silicon dissolves in case of water. So silicon is fully dissolved in water, so silicon will be moving along with the water. So material in solution will be any minerals which get dissolved in water. Material in suspension means material is not fully dissolved, it is not fully dissolved, like sand silt. We discussed sand silts are depositing where? At the bottom of the water, that is okay there, so they are not fully dissolved. Or pebbles or stones. So when rivers are moving from the mountain, as we discussed, they have very high velocity. Why they have very high velocity? Gravity. Okay, so as you are coming down from the top to the earth's surface, what will happen? Which force is going to act? Acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity. So that's why when you are moving from here to here, your speed is going to increase. Why it is going to increase? Because acceleration is going to be there. Clear? For example, when you throw a stone up, what will happen? When you throw a stone up, what will happen? The stone will go up to height. Then what will happen to the stone? It will again falls down. Why? So here what is happening, when you are throwing the stone, it is having certain velocity. But as it goes up, what will happen? As it goes up, its velocity is decreasing. Its velocity is decreasing. That's why it is stopping at a point, and after this point, what will happen? It again starts to nothing but okay, falls down. So when it starts to fall down, its velocity is increasing. Its velocity is increasing. Fine. Velocity means okay, with which speed you are moving. Clear? There is a term speed and there is a velocity. Speed means what? The distance by time. How much distance you are covering in a time. But velocity is a vector quantity. When we are talking about a direction, in which direction you are moving, then it is going to be called as what? Velocity. Fine. So here what is happening is velocity is first decreasing and then velocity starts to increase. So that's why when river also comes down, what will happen? Its speed will increase. When its speed will increase, what will happen? Yeah, it can carry heavier things like boulders, big stones, big boulders like this. That's why at the mountain, when you go to the mountain and you'll see rivers coming from the mountain, on the edges of the river you'll find many boulders, many stones, okay, that are there on the edges of the river. Why it is there? Because river is, due to high velocity, river is able to carry all these material. Clear? So that's why running water, you'll see there are three type of material: material in solution, material in suspension, as well as material in the form of pebble, stone, rock, and boulders. These are carried by the running water. So these are erosion. These are erosion that the rivers is doing. Fine. Now, next part that you see is what? So as we discussed, running water, what thing it will carry depends upon what? It depends upon volume of water. The more water is there, what will happen? The more solution it can take, more suspension it can take. Velocity, when more velocity is there, we discuss more boulder, more bigger thing it can carry, or the size, shape, and weight of the load. So load is very big, then difficult to carry. Load is small, then it is easier to carry. So these are what? These are the three things that decides how much erosion the rivers is going to do. Volume of the water, velocity of the flow, and the size, shape, and weight of the load. This will determine how much the rivers can carry. Fine. That's why rivers flow we classify into what? River flow we classify into three different directions. River flow we classify into three different domains, and these are referred as, this particular part is referred as upper course of river. Upper course means when the river is in mountain and etc. This is called as a upper course of river. The second is middle course, when river starts to move somewhat in a planar areas. So from mountain, it is starting to move in a planar area, that is called as a middle course. And the third type of course is called as a lower course, when river is about to join oceans, seas, and etc. Those type of course is called as a lower course. So when the rivers are when the rivers are moving, they form different type of landforms. Last class we discussed rivers are eroding and rivers are depositing. So as a result, different landforms are going to be formed. Clear? So in upper course of the river, you're gonna see formation of gorges. You're gonna see formation of waterfall. And the third thing that you see is a river capture phenomenon. These are the things you're going to find in the upper course of the river. So in the upper course of the river is going to form gorges, waterfall, or river is going to form what we call as a river capture. In the middle course, what you are seeing formation of meanders. You are seeing formation of interlocking spur. And the third thing that you see is a formation of river cliff. These are the things that are generally found in the middle course of a river. Now, in the lower course of a river, you will see formation of floodplains, deltas, lagoons, oxbow lake. These are the things that are being found in the lower course of a river. Clear? So the question may come like which is forming in upper course, which is forming in middle course, or which is forming in lower course of a river. Fine. So when the rivers is flowing in upper course, what is going to form? Gorges, waterfall, and river capture. When the rivers is flowing in middle course, what is going to form? Meanders, interlocking spur, and river cliff. When the river is flowing in lower course, what is being formed? Floodplain, delta, lagoons, and oxbow lake. Fine. Now, in examination, you may get a question like this. Now the question, these are 5 landforms, okay, which are being given. Meanders, moraine, Bergschrund, deltas, and interlocking spur. And question can be that which of the following forms due to action of rivers? Which of the following landforms form due to action of rivers? So that could be question. So if that question comes, what will be your answer? 1, 4, 5. Yes, okay. Meanders is formed due to action of river, deltas is formed due to action of river, interlocking spur is formed due to action of river, rather moraines and Bergschrund are formed due to action of glaciers. Okay, they are formed due to action of glaciers. So after rivers we'll take up glaciers, so then you'll understand what is moraines, what is a Bergschrund. Clear? So this type of questions can be formed. Or if I want to make it more difficult, I can make it which of the following formed due to erosional capacity of river. Which of the following is formed due to erosional capacity of river? 1, 4, 5. Then in case of erosional capacity, the answer will be 1 and 5 only. Answer will be what? 1 and 5 only, because deltas is formed due to deposition. Delta is formed in lower course and delta is formed due to what? Deposition. In case of the upper course and middle course, you are seeing erosion is happening. But here what is happening? Deposition is something that is happening. So in lower course, river will deposit the material. So delta is formed due to what? Depositional action of a river, not due to erosional action of a river. Fine. So this is okay. What this can make question more challenging. That which is formed due to erosional action of a river, which is formed due to depositional action of a river. Fine.
So then in erosion there will be deposition as well.
In erosion there will be.
Deposition.
Let's say erosion is happening at this place and deposition is happening at this place. Then river is moving. Now river is not able to carry, so river will deposit the material over here. So when river will deposit the material over here, what will happen? Deposition is happening over here. Erosion is happening over here. So at two different places it is happening. So till the time river is able to carry the material, river will not deposit it. Once river do not have a velocity, when rivers do not have a adequate volume of water, rivers will not be able to carry the material. So when it will not be able to carry the material, it will deposit it. Fine. So these are okay. What? These are the important type of question that can be found in the case of examination related to what? Related to action of river or action of glaciers, action of wind. Clear? In canyons. Canyons can also be formed, okay, due to the action of rivers. We are going to either it is gorges or it can be canyons. Okay. So what is the difference? We'll take it up right now. So in the upper course you will find formation of what? Yes.
So sir, upper course and middle course formation of
generally upper course is erosional. In middle course both erosional and deposition can happen. In middle course both can happen. In lower course generally deposition will happen. Okay. Fine. Any doubt regarding this one? Now you can see in upper course what is we have written? We have written vertical corrosion. Vertical corrosion, the term that is used is a vertical corrosion. Here you can see valley widening, some deposition. So here erosion is also happening, but some deposition is also happening. But here what is happening? Deposition is going to happen. Clear? So as we discussed in the last class, if let's say rivers falls, if river falls, what will happen? Let's say, so we discussed, okay, what will happen? Material here will be what? Splashed out. So when material here will splashed out, what will happen? You will see hole is going to be created. This hole is leading to which type of erosion? Vertical. River is trying to dig deep. Vertical erosion is something that is okay happening. Clear? So when erosion is like this, then what will happen? Vertical erosion will happen. Clear? But if erosion starts to happen like this rather than deeper, river is not deepening, rather river is okay eroding the side part, then what will happen? You will see depth will not increase, but what happen? The width will increase. So depth will not increase. If river is eroding like this, then what will happen? Depth is increasing. But if river is eroding like this, then what will happen? It is widening happening. So here what is happening? Erosion is there, but it is leading to widening. Clear? Not increasing the depth. And here also some deposition will happen. And lastly, what will happen? More deposition will happen at the lower course. Clear? So this happens, okay, due to action of rivers. So when rivers is flowing from the origin till nothing but okay, the end part, it is making certain landforms, and these landforms can be formed either in the upper course of a river, middle course of a river, and lower course of a river. In the upper course of a river, generally which type of erosion will dominate? Vertical erosion. In lower course of a river, middle course of a river, which will dominate? Generally horizontal erosion, lateral erosion will dominate, and some deposition will dominate. So here vertical erosion, here horizontal erosion or lateral erosion will dominate with some deposition, and here what will happen? More deposition will happen. Clear? So this is what we call as the upper course, middle course as well as lower course. Fine. Now we are using the term corrosion. So here what we have mentioned, vertical corrosion, or we are using the term horizontal corrosion. So what is corrosion means? So here it is saying it is a geomorphological term. Geomorphological. We have used the term geomorphological earlier. What does it mean? Yes, morphological means what? We discussed structure. So it is dealing with what? Structure part. Morphology is dealing with the structure part. And geo means earth part. So it is dealing with the earth structure or earth's landform. So it is a geomorphological term for the process of mechanical erosion of the earth surface caused when material are transported across it by the running water. So rivers will cause which type of erosion? River will cause, okay, the corrosion. River will cause what? Corrosion. So it can happen due to running water. It can also happen due to waves. It can also happen due to glacier. It can also happen due to wind or gravitational movement. So this is what we call as a corrosion. Corrosion means mechanical erosion. Corrosion means what? Mechanical erosion. And two type of corrosion, as we discussed, vertical and horizontal. Vertical means deepening will happen. Horizontal means widening will happen. So corrosion means what? It is a geomorphological term, and it means mechanical erosion is going to happen on the Earth's surface. This mechanical erosion can be due to running water, can be due to wave movement, glacier movement, wind movement, and this could be in the form of what we call as a lateral or horizontal. Fine. Any doubt regarding this term corrosion? Now, so when the reverse is moving, you're gonna see corrosion. You're gonna see also the attrition, and you'll also see corrosion. What is the difference between corrosion and corrosion?
Corrosion is metal part. Corrosion is erosion.
Corrosion is erosion, corrosion is metal part. Any other difference? Any other difference? Like you say iron corrodes. So corrosion in iron happens. So what is corrosion basically?
Exposure to air.
It is changing chemical part. Chemical composition is changing. Iron is reacting. When we say iron is reacting with oxygen, that is H2O, humidity part, to form iron. Okay, so this is something that is okay being formed. So what will happen? We say it is what? Iron is corroding. Corrosion means what? Chemical change is going to happen. But corrosion means which type of change is going to happen? Mechanical change. Mechanical change means what? We discussed solid, liquid, gaseous. Okay, those changes are something that is called as a corrosion. So corrosion and corrosion, these are two different terms. Clear? So when rivers is flowing, rivers can also corrode, and rivers can also rivers can also do corrosion, rivers can also do corrosion. Let's say the river is moving where iron is kept, then what will happen? It can cause nothing but okay corrosion also. Clear? And third is attrition. What is attrition? What is attrition? Let's say this molecule is there in the river, this molecule is there in the river, and water is what? Water is taking away these two molecules. What will happen? These molecules will get what? Rubbed with each other. No, when rivers is taking away these molecules, these sediments, what will happen? These will get rubbed off each other. Clear? So what will happen due to rubbing? Friction generated. Friction generated means what? It may lead to this bigger particle dividing into further smaller particle, and this okay we call it as what? This we call it as a attrition. So attrition is basically what? Attrition is when molecules collide with each other. When rivers are moving, sediments, sands, okay, the other material collide with each other, and when they collide with each other, they broke down in much smaller part. That is called as what? That is called as a attrition. So rivers can show all three things: corrosion also, corrosion also, and attrition also. Corrosion means what? Corrosion means what? Mechanical change. Corrosion means chemical change, and attrition means collision and breaking down. Clear? So this is what you have to keep in mind. Next, the first thing that you are finding in upper course, what we are seeing, formation of gorges. So basically, what is gorges? Now this is okay, the figure of gorges that you are seeing. What is gorges? This is a figure of gorge. So gorge is what? Basically, you see narrow channels of river. So you're finding this is okay, what? This is a narrow channel through which rivers are something that are flowing. It is a narrow channel through which rivers are flowing, and you are seeing a lot of vegetation on the either side in the mountains. you are finding lot of vegetation on the either side in case of mountains. So gorge is what? Gorge is basically a narrow channel. When mountain is like this, now river is able to erode it what? Vertically. When river is able to erode it vertically, what is happening? You are finding here what? You are finding this is okay mountain. You are seeing river is now eroding it. Now river is flowing through the this particular point, and this is called as what? This is called as nothing but okay gorge. So gorge is, this is, assume this is okay what? This is nothing but okay mountain like this. When river is able to erode this part, now river is okay flowing in this narrow channel. This is called as what? This is called as a gorge. Clear? So gorge is a narrow channel that is being created through which river is flowing in the upper course, that is in mountainous areas. On the either side of the gorge, you're going to find a lot of vegetations. Okay, you're going to find a lot of vegetations. Clear? So if you see closer look of a gorge, you'll find closer look of a gorge like this. So this is how the closer look of a gorge. Narrow channel through which rivers are flowing with the mountains with vegetation on either side. This is called as a closer look of gorge. Clear? Any doubt regarding this one? So gorge is what? It is a narrow channel through which rivers is flowing on the either side of the mountains. Which type of okay erosion is dominating? Vertical erosion is something that is okay dominate. Clear? Now the canyons are canyon concept is also similar. Canyon concept is also similar. But in canyon concept, you see rivers are moving through the desert. It is a narrow channel through which river is moving on the desert side with no what? With no vegetation. On the gorges, you are seeing what? Vegetation on the either side. But in canyon, you are not seeing any vegetation on the either side. You see rivers are moving in a narrow channel across nothing but okay what? Across a mountain. So generally these canyons are going to be formed where? Going to be formed in a deserted area or okay area that where less vegetations are something that are there and river is flowing through that. So this is the difference lies between gorge and a canyon. Clear? So gorge is what? A narrow channel through which rivers is flowing, and on the either side what you are finding? Mountains you are finding or vegetations you are finding. Here canyons, narrow channel through which rivers is flowing, on either side you don't find any vegetations. Clear? Any doubt regarding this one? Gorges are going to dominate more in a when rivers are moving to the mountainous areas, while the canyons are going to be dominate okay going to be more when rivers are moving from a deserted areas. Clear? Any doubt regarding this particular thing? So here this is what okay you're finding definition with regard to gorge. So what we have written, gorge is a narrow channel. It is a deep narrow valley with very steep sides. So it is a deep narrow valley with steep sides. Steep side means mountains are there. You see steep sides. Okay, so mountains are there. Usually when river passes through a mountain or area of hard rocks. So river is not able to erode. That's why river passing through area of hard rocks. Fine. The canyons is what? Canyons are much more common in arid region. Arid region means what? Desert region. So arid region means what? Desert region. So canyons are much more common in arid region or desert region, and their physical weathering is more happening. In canyons, what will happen? Physical weathering will more happen. Clear? So in deserted region, which type of weathering are more common? Which type of weathering are more common in deserted region? Frost weathering. Remember, we discussed okay the salt weathering. Salt weathering is more common. So in desert region, which type of weathering are more common? Salt weathering. But when rivers are also flowing, rivers is carrying water. So you will find okay domination of which weathering also? Frost weathering. Frost weathering can also be seen because if let's say this is a rock where crack is developed, so water get deposited in this particular rock, and this water may convert into ice, leading to what we call as a frost weathering process also. Clear? So when both wind and water combines, you might see which type of weathering also in desert area? Frost weathering. Clear? Any doubt regarding this one? So you can see water seeps into the crack between the rocks, freezes, pushing the rock apart, casually causing the larger chunk. Okay, so this larger chunk will happen, and this process is referred as a frost weathering. Clear? So this difference lies between what? This difference lies between a gorge and a canyon. Gorge is what? Gorge is what? Narrow channel. Narrow channel through which river is something that is flowing in a mountainous areas and vegetation on the either side of the mountain. Canyons are what? It is also a narrow channel through which rivers are flowing, but in a deserted area and no vegetations on the either side. So arid region is where you see canyons are more formed. Clear? Now there is also a term called submarine canyons. There is also a term you're going to study called submarine canyons. What is submarine canyons? So when we'll come to oceanography, there we are going to also discuss the term submarine canyon. So what is submarine canyon?
Which are inside the ocean.
Yes, canyon means what? Again a narrow channel. Narrow channel will be created through which, okay, what will happen? Water will move, but this water is, okay, where? In the oceans. So let's say this is the ocean. Let's say this is the ocean, and this is nothing but, okay, oceanic bed. This is oceanic bed. Now let's say a narrow channel is being created over here through which, okay, water is moving. Then this, okay, can be called as what? This can be called as a submarine canyon. Okay, then this can be called as what? Submarine canyon. Fine. So when canyons are found under the water, remember that it is going to be called as what? Submarine canyons. Clear? So clear the difference between gorge and canyon. Now the second phenomena that you find is a case of river capture. So second phenomena that you find in a river capture. Now this phenomena that you are seeing is a river capture. What is a river capture? You see, before rivers are moving like this. This is a path through which rivers is something that is, okay, moving, and this is a path where tributary is something that is, okay, going. This is a path where tributary is something that is, okay, moving. Clear? Now this tributary is eroding the rocks. It is eroding the rocks and joining the main river. It is joining the main river. Clear? Now once it joins the main river, river changes its course. Now river is moving like this, and this path that earlier through which river was moving is now abandoned by the river. So river is not moving through this path. Now river started moving to nothing but, okay, this path, which is a tributary path. Okay, why? Because we discussed the river always chooses which type of path? Least resistance path. Okay, so this path is now providing least resistance to the flow of river. That's why river is what? River is changing its course. Earlier river was flowing like this, but now river is changing its course and moving like this. This phenomena is called as what? This phenomena is called as a river capture. You are capturing the flow of river. Earlier river was moving like this. Now you have captured the flow of river towards this particular side. So this phenomena is called as a river capturing. Clear? Any doubt regarding this part? So that's why, let's say river is flowing like this. This river is flowing like this, and you built a dam over here to store water, and suddenly river changes its course, move to another side. What will happen to this dam? What will happen to dam? It will be of no use. But why? Because you have created this dam to store what? To store water. Now river has changed its course and river is now moving like this. Clear? So that's why what happened, this dam will be of no use. That's why wherever river is frequently changing its course, it is difficult to what? It is difficult to create infrastructure over there to store water. Wherever river is changing its course frequently, it is difficult to change, okay, difficult to create infrastructure in those areas. For example, you will find a river called the Kosi River. You'll find a river which is called as what? Kosi River. Kosi River is flowing in Bihar. Okay, and this river is called as a sorrow of Bihar. Why it is called as a sorrow of Bihar? Because every year it causes flood. Every year whenever monsoon comes, okay, the river overflows and it causes flood. Okay, that's why it is called as what? sorrow of Bihar. People are okay, what? People are not happy. That's why it is okay, sorrow of Bihar. Now, why we are not able to control the dam? Why you are not building a dam? If we build a dam, excess water we can store where? In the dam, and as a result, what will happen? Flood will not occur. Clear? Whenever monsoon comes, excess water is there in the river, so we'll store that excess water in dam, and there will be no flooding. So the reason why is we are not able to create is what? The Kosi River is frequently changing its course. It is frequently changing its course, and as a result, difficult to create what? Difficult to create this particular phenomena. Clear? So that's why the river capture is what? River capture is when river changes its flow and starts to move towards least resistance path. That phenomena is called as what? That phenomena is called as a river capture. Clear? Any doubt? So another thing that you find with the river capture, the symbol figure is like this. You can see the river was moving like this. This is a tributary path. Okay, that is okay there. After, okay, what? River started flowing like this and abandoned which path? Abandoned this particular path. So this phenomena is called as what? This phenomena is called as a river capture. Clear? Any doubt? The third thing. Huh? Because river always chooses least resistance path. No, this path is providing more resistance to the flow of river. This path is providing less resistance to the flow of river. So that's why river is shifting to this path rather than moving towards this path. Fine. When you are moving, let's say when you are moving from one point to another point, what do you want? Do you want traffic in your road? No. Why? If traffic comes, what will happen? It is providing resistance to your movement. No. So you don't want, okay, resistance to your movement. Like that, river also don't want what? Resistance to its movement. So when this earlier they were flowing to this part, these rocks were harder rock, they were providing more resistance to the flow of river. Now the river were able to move towards softer part of the rocks, okay, and they are okay able to move to this side, which is a least resistance path. Okay, so any rivers or any glaciers tries to follow which type of path? They try to follow a least resistance path to their fine. So the third thing that we discuss in upper course, what we have? Gorges we have, river capture we have, and we discuss waterfall. The other thing that you are going to find in the upper course is what? This is a waterfall. Clear? So you can see from the gorge, river is coming, and then waterfall is something that is okay being created. So this is also you are going to see in which course? In the upper course of the river. Why waterfall? Why waterfall? When waterfall will form? When waterfall will form? Waterfall will form when the rivers will what? When the rivers are flowing over a harder rock. So rivers are flowing over a harder rock. Let's say this is a harder rock. When rivers are flowing over a harder rock, then okay, you see suddenly what will happen? You'll see a fall will be there, and this fall is called as what? This fall is called as a waterfall. If softer rocks are there, then what will happen? Then rivers will erode like this and move like this. Okay, river will erode and move like this. Clear? River will erode and move like this. Since harder rock is there, river is not able to erode it. When river is not able to erode it, suddenly you see this is going to be called as a waterfall. Clear? For example, in Karnataka you find which is the most prominent fall? Jog Falls. So Jog Falls is why you see rivers are what? This is your plateau region. We discussed harder rock. Basaltic rocks are which type of rock? Harder rock. So when the rivers Sharavati falls like this from the plateau region to nothing but okay planar region, it creates which fall? It creates nothing but okay Jog Falls. Okay, so whenever river flowing through a harder rock, river is not able to erode it, and at the edges you'll see a fall, and this is going to be called as what? This is going to be called as a waterfall. Clear? So these are the things we are finding in the upper course of a river: gorges, canyons, river capture, waterfall. Fine. Secondly, you have what? Lower course or middle course of a river. So in middle course of a river, first thing that you find is a meander. Meander is nothing but okay what? River flowing like this. It is which pattern? A snake-like pattern. Okay, so when river move in a snake-like pattern, this is going to be called as which type of flow? Meander flow or wave pattern. It is also called as a wave pattern. Clear? So either you can call it as a snake pattern, or you can call it as a wave pattern. When river moves like this, it is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a meanders. Why rivers move like this? as we discussed, river is trying to find a least resistance path, so that's why river is moving like this. So that's why this movement of river is called as a meandering river or meandering fashion. Clear? Any doubt regarding this part? Now assume here what is happening. Here what is happening, river water is coming like this. So you see river water is coming like this. Now when river water is coming like this, it is hitting this edge. It is hitting this edge. Clear? River water is coming like this. It is hitting the edge, this particular edge. Okay, that is okay there. So at this edge, what will happen? Erosion will happen, and this eroded material will be deposited where? At this particular edge. So this eroded material will be deposited at the lower edge. Okay. Now when rivers will again come from here to here, now it is going to erode which region now? This part, and again deposition will happen at which area? The other edges. Okay, that is okay there. Now rivers will move to this path, so erosion will happen in this area and deposition will happen in this particular area. So over a period of time, you see this was okay, the flow of river originally, but because erosion here is happening, you'll see over a period of time river will take this particular path. So river will take this path. This becomes a new path of the river. This becomes a new path of the river. So here what is happening? Deposition has happened. Here what has happened? Deposition has happened. This part has been eroded. So river course has slightly shifted, slightly changed. This is happening due to what? This is happening due to meandering flow of river. Clear? Yeah, this edge erosion is happening. So deposition will happen at which edge? If river is having enough volume, it will take the material to the other thing. Clear? But if river is not having enough volume, because it is moving in which course? Middle course. Meander is formed in which course? Middle course. So in middle course, what we have written? Lateral erosion. Widening is happening, or some deposition is happening. We discussed vertical erosion is what? Vertical erosion is happening in the upper course. Now the river is in middle course. River does not have enough volume, because in middle course what will happen? Gravity is not like this. Gravity is lesser. So when gravity is lesser, river is not able to carry all the sediments. So some of the sediments they will deposit over here. Clear? So deposition will happen at this edge and erosion will happen at the other edge.
Erode there and deposit some of the matter there.
Yeah, it will deposit some of the matter over there. Clear? And okay, rest of the rivers will nothing but okay move like this. Clear? So that's why you will find rivers. Let's say this is a river. Let's say this is a river. At one edge, what will happen? Erosion will happen. At one edge, what will happen? Deposition will happen. So you'll find like this. Deposition will happen like this, and as a result, one side you are going to get what? Gradual slope, and other side you are going to get what? Steep slope. Other side you are going to get steep slopes. So you'll see this figure. Clear? So this figure that you are seeing, so river is coming in a meandering fashion. So river is coming in a meandering fashion, hitting which region? This region. So erosion is happening. That's why you form which is being formed? Cliff is being formed, and deposition is happening at this bank. Okay, so this is okay where deposition is something that is okay happening. So here you see height is increasing because of erosion. Here you see gradual height is there because of nothing but okay what? Deposition. So this part is called as what? This part is called as a slip of slope. You can slip inside the river because you are okay. This is gradual slope. You are growing gradual slope. You can slip inside the river. That's why this part is called as a slip of slope. And this edge, this okay height is called as what? River cliff. So another thing that you are forming is a river cliff. You can see this in this figure. So you can see this particular part. So this part erosion is happening. As a result, what is being formed? This part erosion is happening. What is being formed? Cliff is being formed. And this side, okay, deposition is happening. So what is being formed? Gradual slip of slope is something that is okay being formed. So this bank is called as a slip of slope. Bank is called as a convex. Convex like this. And this is called as a concave. Concave is like this. Clear? So you have concave lens, convex lens. We have studied about that. Okay. So this bank is called as a convex bank. Well, this bank is referred as a concave bank. Clear? So that is what, okay, you are finding when rivers is moving in a meandering fashion. So when rivers move in a meandering fashion, they will erode one of the edges, and there what will form? River cliff will form. They will deposit some of the material on the other edges. So what is going to form? Slip of slopes are going to form. Fine. So this is what meanders. As we discussed, meanders is a curve in a river or a snake-like pattern of a river. So it is a curve in a river moving in a curve fashion, or a snake-like pattern, that is okay there. So this meander curve changes over the time. Why changes over the time? One edge is eroded, another edge is what? Deposition is happening. So that's why we discuss initially, if river is flowing like this, over a period of time, they will start to flow like this. They will start to flow like this. So edge will change. Clear? So river will erode the sediment on the inside of the curve and deposit on the outside of a curve. Clear? That's why you'll see formation of what? River cliff and slip of slopes. So slip of slopes and river cliffs are going to form. Fine. So in upper course, we have discussed what is formed. Gorges are formed. Waterfalls are going to be formed. River capture phenomena. In the lower middle course, what is you are seeing? Meander, interlocking spur, the river cliff, and slip of slope. So that you are finding in the case of what? In the case of, so on one side we discuss cliff is formed, on another side what is happening? Slip of slope is being formed. So that you are finding in the case of middle course. Now what is interlocking spur? Now this is basically interlocking spur. Clear? Now this is a source of river, from where river is something that is okay originating. This point is a source of river from where you see rivers are originating, and from this point, okay, you see rivers are coming, and then you said, see, suddenly what is happening? Rivers is not visible. Why it is not visible? Because of the big mountains over here, river flow is not visible. So we say river flow has been interlocked. We say river flow have been interlocked, and when river comes out of this interlock, then what will happen? You see flow of nothing but okay, rivers is visible. So such type of interlock is called as what? Interlocking spur. When rivers is moving or okay rotating around the mountain, its flow is not visible, and that's why when we say rivers is what? Rivers has been interlocked, okay, and such things are called as what? Such things are called as a interlocking spur. Fine. Anyone having any doubt regarding interlocking spur? So interlocking spur is when rivers is okay, rivers is navigating, river is moving around a mountain, and river is not visible, its flow is not visible, then it is going to be called as a interlocking spur. Fine. Now the third, we are coming to the lower part. Clear? You can see this is how meanders you're gonna see in real life. So in real life, you see rivers is flowing like this. Okay, so this is a meandering flow of river. River flows like a meandering fashion. So this is okay, the real life, how rivers are moving in a meandering fashion. Fine. And the next is a case of what? Now we are coming to the lower course, and first thing that you are going to form in a lower course is a oxbow lake. Clear? So why it is called as a oxbow lake? Because it is in bow shape. It is in bow shape. So this is how it is there. This is how it is there. Okay, it is in bow shape. That's why it is called as what? You see bow and arrow, no? Bow and arrow, you see. So it is in bow shape. That's why it is called as which lake? Oxbow lake. Clear? Now, just now we discussed river moves in which fashion? Meandering fashion. River move like this in a meandering fashion. Clear? As we discussed, river water is hitting this part. River water is hitting this part, and river water is also hitting this part. Then river water is what? Hitting this part. As a result, what is happening? This part is being eroded. This part is being eroded. Again, this part is being eroded. This part is being eroded. Over a period of time, what will happen? River will find both these edges are being eroded and they have joined together. So river will starts to move like this and abandon this particular path. So when river will abandon this path, this bow shape is called as what? This bow shape is going to be called as a oxbow lake. This bow shape is going to be called as a oxbow lake. So how do you see the figure? So this is how you are finding the real life figure. So what is happening? River is flowing like this and has abandoned this meandering path. So this path is okay with shape and a lake shape. This part is called as what? Oxbow lake. Clear? This part is called as a oxbow lake. So earlier river was moving like this. River was moving like this. Moving like this. Taking this path, moving like this. But over a period of time, okay, what will happen? Because of erosion on this edge, this path river has joined together. When this path river has joined together, they have abandoned this path, and this lake, the water that is okay there, has now formed a lake, and this lake is called as a oxbow lake. Clear? So in things, okay, it happens like this. So you see how it is happening? It is happening like this. So as we discussed, river is coming and eroding this part, then coming, eroding this part, then coming, eroding this part, then coming, eroding this part. So here erosion is happening, here erosion is happening. Over a period of time, what will happen? These two will come closer. When these two come closer, over a period of time, river will take this path and abandon this particular path. This is how oxbow lake creation is something that is okay happening. Fine.
So oxbow lake is also a meander.
Lake is not a river. Meander is what? Meander is a course of river. When river flows in a snake-like pattern, then it is there. The abundant path of the river has now abandoned this path. The snake-like pattern path river has abandoned. Now river is moving like this. This is now the flow of river, and this water is now cut off from the main water. So the left out water is referred as what? Oxbow lake. This is referred as a oxbow lake. Clear? No, you can't consider it as a meander. Meander is a flow. Meander is flow when river is moving. Clear? It is a bow-shaped lake. It is a bow-shaped lake. It is not moving. Meander will happen when you have a snake-like movement. But here it is only a curved lake is there. It is not moving, no. So when it is not moving, we can't call it as a meander. We call it as a which lake? Oxbow lake. Fine. So that's why read the definition of oxbow lake is there. It is a U shape. It is a U-shaped body of water. It is a U-shaped body of water. So what is U-shaped body of water means? Like this. So we discussed it is a U-shaped body of water with a forms from a wide meander. So this lake is forming from where? From the meanders only. When rivers is moving like this and abandoning this particular path, then it forms a meander. From the main stem, river is cut off, creating a freestanding body of water. So lake is not moving, it is a standing body of water. Clear? Fine. So where do we find oxbow lake? Where do we find oxbow lake? In the lower course of a river. In the lower course of a river, you will find what? Formation of this type of lake. It depends whether rainfall is happening over there or not. If rainfall is more in that region as compared to evaporation, then what will happen? It will not dry up. If rainfall is less, then what will happen? It will dry up. So that depends upon the condition, climatic condition. Clear? So this is what you are finding with regard to Oxbow Lake. It is a U-shaped body of water forms when a wide meander forms or comes from the main stem of a river. Fine. Now the next comes your delta. Another thing that you are finding in the lower course is deltas. What is deltas? Deltas is formed at the mouth. It is formed at the mouth of river. Mouth of river means what? When river is about to join oceans or seas. When river is about to join oceans or seas, then you will see formation of deltas. Clear? So what is basically deltas? These deposition that you are seeing happening over here is called as what? It's called as nothing but deltas. Okay, these are referred as what? These are the deltas. So why these deltas are formed? Why these deltas are formed? So when we discuss, when rivers are rivers are to join the oceans or the sea, what will happen? What will happen? They are they're not moving over the slope. Now they are moving in a inner area that is there. So the river will not be able to carry carry the sediments. As a result, they start depositing these sediments, and these sediments are referred as what? These sediments are referred as the deltas. Clear? So when the river is about to join the join the sea, or when river is about to join the oceans, river is not able to not able to carry these sediments, and these sediments are something that are deposited over here, and that's why this formation of what we call as our deltas. Yeah. So deltas are very prone to what? Deltas are very prone to climatic change. Why they are very prone to climatic change? Deltas are very prone because any change in climate will lead to increase in water level, melting of glacier, increase in water level. If water level is, what will happen to deltas? They'll get submerged. Okay, they'll get submerged. If water level will increase, they will get submerged, and that's why deltas are very prone to what? Climatic change. Clear? So for example, India is having Sundarban Delta. It's the largest delta in the world, forms at the Ganga River in the West Bengal. You'll find this delta called as a Sundarban Delta. Famous for what? Royal Bengal tiger. It is famous for tiger, Royal Bengal tiger. So what you are finding is Sundarban Delta is facing now threat of nothing but submergence. Because change, what will happen? You'll see the rise in the sea water, and as a result, you will find what? You will find submergence. Clear? So what is delta? Deltas are when river deposits sediments at the mouth. At the mouth, when they are about to join the ocean, then it is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a deltas. Clear? Now, different type of deltas are also there. Different type of deltas are also there. For example, one type of deltas. So you can find this type of delta, which is called as what? Bird foot delta. So like you see birds' foot are coming out like that. When you find deltas like this, this type of deltas are called as what? Bird foot delta. So you can see this is how the birds foot are there. So these are the rivers, how they are flowing, and they're depositing sediments over there. So this is a figure of which type of delta? Bird foot delta. So earlier UPSC has asked question, which of the following rivers forms the bird foot delta? Which of the following rivers forms the bird foot delta? They have asked this question in the case of examination. So there's a river called Mississippi River. There's a river called Mississippi River. Mississippi River. Now this river flows in US. This river flows in US, which forms which type of deltas? Bird foot deltas. They forms which type of deltas? Bird foot deltas. Clear? So UPSC has asked this question regarding which rivers forms the bird foot type of delta. So it is going to be which river? Mississippi River. Clear?
How it is formed, sir?
Huh?
Which the rivers are formed?
Like, let's say this is how rivers are coming now. So when rivers are coming and about to join the oceans, now they will not able to carry the sediments. So these sediments starts to deposit on what? On the side of the river, because river is not able to carry. Now once, okay, what will happen? River flow decreases. What will happen? You'll see rivers may take any path now to what? Now to nothing but, okay, join the oceans. So some sediments will come like this, some sediments will come towards this, some sediments will come towards this. Remember, just now we discussed distributary. When river comes and, okay, spread like this, it becomes what? Distributary. That is okay there. So you'll see, okay, river spreading into many branches, and these branches will carry sediments. So as a result, these sediments will start depositing on the side, and this forms what we call as the deltas.
What is the form of the delta?
What is
the prawns are harmful?
harmful? Okay, corns. Okay, you are right. There's no as such corns. These are sediments, okay, being deposited. So they forms an island, like deltaic island. Like you have volcanic island, like that. What is, okay, being formed with sediment deposition? You'll see formation of an island. Okay, so those islands are referred as which type of island? Deltaic island. So on that island, you'll see different species can survive, different things can survive. Okay, so you can plant mangrove trees and other trees. So those things you can, okay, there. But when river level will increase, what will happen? These will get submerged. So that is, okay, the problem with the deltas.
So, sir, all the river water is not glacier water.
Not necessarily all river water is glacier water only. You see, monsoon also, okay, what? Monsoon also causes nothing but, okay, the water addition in what? Rivers. Like one of the problem with the Kaveri river is what? Why there is a dispute between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka for Kaveri river water? Because water flow decreases whenever, okay, non-monsoon season are there. When less monsoon season there is there, what will happen? Water flow decreases. Why water flow decreases? Because river is not perennial in nature. Perennial means that the river flow is throughout the year. Okay, so when river flow will be throughout the year, when it is being fed by the glacier will melt and it will add the water, then it is going to be the flow throughout the year. But when river is not flowing from the glacier, then what will happen? Then it will be fed by the monsoon. So, okay, so in monsoon season you'll see more water. In non-monsoon season you are going to see, okay, lesser water. Clear? So that's why there is a dispute, okay, regarding river water sharing, another sharing. Why? Because the quantity of water declining in a summer season or a non-monsoon season. Fine?
Yes, so there's so much water which will be mixing up with the ocean, right? Like with all the water will be every day the water will be going to the ocean.
Yeah, this is going to the ocean. So from the ocean, what is happening? Evaporation will happen, no? From the ocean, if more water is there, what will happen? Evaporation will happen. Wind will evaporate. Okay, so evaporation will happen. Then what will happen? Clouds are going to form. Clouds are going to form. What will happen? Rainfall is going to be there. This rainwater will add water where? In the rivers. Then from the rivers again, what will happen? It will go to the ocean. So this is water cycle. Clear? Any doubt? So from water will evaporate it, then condense. No, evaporate. See, why Earth has a water? You have a water because there is a rainfall happening. If there is no rainfall, then what will happen? Only if you start consuming water, what will happen? There will be no water left. Water has to recharge. No, how recharging is happening? Through the rainfall only. So rainwater is very much. You are seeing, you are okay living in one place, so you say that quantity of water rainfall is very less. But okay, if you see the entire Earth, how much rainfall is happening, then what will happen? It is huge. Okay, huge amount of water. And rain not only comes in the form of, okay, they comes in the form of snow, they comes in the form of hail, they comes in the various forms. Okay, so rainwater is not only in the form of liquid water, it comes in the form of hail also, it comes in the form of snow also, sleet also. So in different regions you'll see different type of rainfalls happens. Okay, so it add more amount of water. Fine.
So this water cycle keeps continuing in the oceans as well.
Yes, okay, water cycle is, okay, the cycle that is being followed on the entire Earth. From the lakes also water will evaporate, from ponds also water will evaporate, from soils also water will evaporate, from oceans also water will evaporate, and this evaporation will, okay, this evaporated wind will go up, they will condense, and then what will happen? Rainfall will happen. Fine.
When the evaporation is taking place, only the normal water will be evaporated, salt will be left out in the ocean.
Yeah, salt will be left out, and that's why you'll see when we'll come to oceanography, we'll also talks about okay the salty region, which are the more salty region, which are less salty region. Okay, for example, you'll see Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean Sea is okay what? More salty in nature as compared to Red Sea. Red Sea is less salty in nature. Clear? So this is okay what? This is okay type of questions. Okay, you'll also get in the case of examination. Clear? So salt content varies. Fine. So any doubt regarding this particular thing? So you'll also see like so this is how you see Mississippi River is flowing. You can see they are okay what? They are, this is the main river and these are the various tributary that comes and joins. So when it about to join the ocean, it forms which type of delta? Bird foot delta. So there are different type of deltas also. So you'll find now you are finding different patterns of deltas. So you can find these are the different type of delta. So this type is called as what? Bird foot delta, which is formed by Mississippi River. This is okay what? Estuarine delta. This is arcuate type of deltas. Clear? So this type of deltas is called as a arcuate delta. This type of delta is called as a estuaries delta. This type of delta is called as nothing but okay bird foot delta. So when river is coming and joining the ocean, they can form different type of nothing but okay deltas, and that's why different names are something that are being given. Clear? So either bird foot delta, estuarine delta, arcuate delta, different type of deltas are something that are there. Clear? Any doubt regarding this particular thing? So that's why in the examination UPSC has asked this question that which river forms this type of delta. So which is Mississippi River. Fine. So what basically is what? What basically is the deltas? Deposition of what? Sediments. Clear? Now there's a term also we have used called lagoons. What is lagoons? So you can see this area, the enclosed water. This enclosed water is called as what? This enclosed water is called as a lagoons. This enclosed water is called as a lagoons. So as we discussed, when rivers is flowing like this, what is happening? They are depositing sediments over here. They are depositing sediments over here. They are depositing sediments over here. And rivers are joining which one? Oceans. But let's say if sediments deposited like this, if sediments start depositing like this, then what will happen? This part is cut off from the river water. This part is cut off from the river water. Then it is going to form what? Then it is going to form a lagoons. So here what is happening? Sediments is deposited like this. Now this water is cut off from the oceanic water, and that's why it is referred as what? It is referred as a lagoons. So lagoons are referred as a backwater. They are also called as a backwater. Especially Kerala is very famous for this type of okay lagoon formation. Clear? So backwater, you'll find a lot of lagoons in case of Kerala. Clear? So when lagoons are going to form, when rivers are going to flow like this, and what will happen? They'll deposit the sediments like this, which will cut off the okay part of the okay water from the main water. Then it is going to be referred as what? Then it is going to be referred as a lagoons. Fine. So that's why you are finding this. What is the definition for lagoon? It is a shallow body of water. It is a shallow body of water. Shallow means what? Not much depth of the water is there, because river is about to join what? About to join the sea. So not much depth of the water. So it is a shallow body of water separated from larger body of water. So we discussed it is separated from the oceans and etc. And lagoons are commonly divided into coastal lagoons, which are formed in coastal regions, or atoll lagoons, generally forms in Lakshadweep, where you see atoll type of island. Okay, so atoll lagoon, coastal lagoon, which are formed in coastal areas, or atoll lagoon, which is okay seen in case of Lakshadweep. Clear? Any doubt regarding this particular thing? So this is okay important term that you have to keep in mind with regard to lagoons. So what is deltas? When river is about to come and join the sea, river will deposit the sediments. These sediments can be deposited in various forms. So that's why you have bird foot delta, arcuate deltas, different type of deltas you can find. Then when rivers deposit a sediments in such a way that one part is cut, one part of one part of the water is cut off from the main water, then it is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a lagoons. So that's why lagoons are also referred as which type of water? Backwater. Lagoons are also referred as a backwater. Fine. And the lastly that you have is what? Lastly that you have is a concept of estuaries. So sometimes if the river do not carry the sediments, when the river do not carry the sediments, what will happen? You can see this is okay how the rivers are coming. This is how the rivers are coming. This is how rivers are coming, and they are joining the oceans like this. Clear? No delta formation over, no sediments deposition over here. So sometimes when river do not carry the sediments, then what will happen? The river water will join the oceanic water in a simple manner, and this region is referred as what? This region is referred as a estuary region. This region is referred as a estuary region. Clear? Now why the river will not carry sediments? Force of water. Any other reason why the river will not carry the sediments? Because much of the river flow has happened on the harder rocks. When the river will carry sediments, when it will erode. Okay, if it is flowing through the softer rock, then it will erode. When rivers carry, when river flows, much of the river flow is on harder rock, river will not be able to erode. So river will not carry much sediments. When river will not carry much sediments, it will not deposit, and that's why okay, estuaries formations are going to be there. That's why in India we say that the east flowing river that are flowing east and joining which Bay of Bengal, east flowing rivers are forming deltas, but west flowing rivers are forming what? Estuaries. West flowing rivers are forming estuaries because they do not carry much of sediments. Okay, west flowing rivers form the estuaries, they do not carry much of sediments. Okay, so which is east flowing river? You see Ganga flowing like this, Brahmaputra coming like this. You'll see a lot of they are flowing through a lot of regions, eroding there. Then you'll see what? You'll see Godavari flowing, Krishna flowing, Kaveri flowing. They have a long flow that is there. But you'll see west flowing river like Sharavati river, Pamba river, Periyar river. You'll find what? Mahadayi river. All these have a very short flow, and they flow through what? They flow through harder rock of Deccan region. That's why they do not carry much of sediments. When they do not carry much of sediments, we say in India, west flowing rivers are forming what? Forming nothing but estuaries, while the east flowing rivers are forming what? Forming deltas. Clear? So what is a definition for estuaries? You are seeing this is a definition. It is a partially enclosed coastal body of water. Partially enclosed coastal body of brackish water. What is brackish water? Partially enclosed coastal body of brackish water with one or more river or streams flowing into it. So just now, if you remember the figure, we discussed like this, it is coming, and then it is coming and joining what? Joining the oceans. This is what the figure we have, okay, discussed with regard to estuaries. Okay, so what is happening? One stream is coming like this, another stream is coming like this. Then what will happen? Estuaries region, and then it is coming and joining what? Oceans. Okay, that is okay there. So it is a partially enclosed what? Enclosed nothing but okay, body of water, that is okay there. And there are three type of water. We call it as a fresh water, brackish water, and salt water, depending upon salt concentration. So if the salt concentration is less than 5 parts per thousand, 5 ppt, then it is going to be called as a fresh water. If salt concentration is between 5 to 35 parts per thousand, then it is going to be called as a brackish water. If it is greater than 35 parts per thousand, so then it is going to be called as what? Salty water. So three type of nothing but okay waters are there. Fresh water, salt concentration will be less than 5 parts per thousand. Clear? Brackish water, how much? 5 to 35 parts per thousand. Salt water greater than what? 35 parts per thousand. Clear? Clear? So when you see here this figure, we are seeing that it is a partially enclosed body of water. Two streams are coming that are joining this particular thing. Now the rivers will carry which type of water? Fresh water. This particular region, oceans will have which type of water? Salt water. So wherever fresh and salt water will mix, okay, you will see which type of water? Brackish water. It will have certain okay characteristic of fresh and certain characteristic of nothing but okay salt. So that's why this region is called as a brackish water region. Fine. So that is what you are finding with regard to definition of estuaries. Now it is a transition zone between river environment and marine environment. Clear? So river environment is what? Freshwater zone. Marine environment is saltwater zone, and they subject to marine influence such as tide, waves, and influx of saline water or fresh water. Both are something that are present in case of estuaries. Fine. So that's why estuaries are one of the most productive region of the world. Why? We have written estuaries are one of the most productive natural habitat of the world. Yeah, species surviving in fresh water can also survive. Species that are surviving in salt water can also survive. That's why it is most productive habitat of the world. Clear? Any doubt regarding this particular thing? So this is all about what? This is all about your estuaries concept. Fine. So what you have to keep in mind is rivers is having what? Rivers is having flow from upper coast to nothing but okay what? Lower coast. In upper coast, what is going to be formed? Waterfall is going to be formed, gorges or canyon are going to be formed, and river captures are going to be there. In case of middle coast, what will happen? Meanders are going to form, slip of slope or river cliffs are going to be formed, and interlocking spurs are going to form. And thirdly, in the lower coast, you'll see formation of oxbow lake, you'll see formation of deltas, you'll see formation of, yes, okay, those you are seeing in case of what? In lagoons and estuaries, those we are seeing in the lower coast that are being formed. Fine. Any doubt regarding this particular thing? In upper coast, what is going to dominate? In upper coast, what is going to dominate? The lateral corrosion or vertical corrosion? Vertical corrosion. In middle coast, what is going to dominate? Horizontal or lateral corrosion. And in lower coast, what is going to dominate? Deposition is going to dominate. Clear? Fine. So have a break and then we'll further start.
If I told
So now we are moving to the second part, which is a glacier. So we are done with what? We are done with the river running water, and now we are moving toward the second part, which is called as a glaciers. So where do we find glaciers? In the mountain region or in the polar region. So either you are seeing in Arctic or Antarctic, there you are seeing glacier, or in the highland region, that is in mountain region, there you are finding glaciers. So glaciers are being seen in these two regions, polar region, Arctic and Antarctic, and in highland region, which is okay, what? Which is glacier region. Fine. Now, there in polar region, you will find different types of landforms that are made by glaciers. And here you will find what? Here you will find different type of landforms. Different types of landform. And here also you'll see what? Here also you'll see the both erosional landform and depositional landform. So here you'll find erosional landform as well as depositional landform. Fine. So you can find glacier in case of polar region, that is Arctic, Antarctic region, or you can find glaciers in case of what? In case of mountainous region. In mountainous region, when glacier is moving down, they are eroding also and they are depositing also. So that's why you can find erosional landform also. You can find depositional landform also. So we'll take up now the landform which are made by the glaciers. So landform that are made by the rivers, like what are the landform that we have discussed? Landform that are made by the rivers are referred as what? Are referred as a fluvial landform. So last class we discussed this term, fluvial landform. Whatever the landform that are made by the rivers are referred as which type of landform? Fluvial landform. And whatever the landform that are going to be made by the glacier are going to be called as what? Glacial landforms. These are going to be called as a glacial landform. So whatever landform made by the rivers are going to be called as a fluvial landform. Whatever landform that are made by the glaciers are going to be called as what? Glacial landforms. Fine. So the first thing that you will find over here is Nuntak. Now this first we are talking about polar region. What you are going to find in a polar region, that is okay, Nuntak. So this you are finding. This you are finding. What is over here? What is over here? You can see everything is covered in ice except for what? Except for some rocky part. Except for some rocky part which is coming out of what? Which are coming out of this particular ice. So everything is something that is okay, covered with ice, with some rocky part that is okay coming out. This bare exposed part is called as what? This is referred as a Nuntak. This bare exposed part is referred as a Nuntak. Clear? So in Arctic and Antarctic region, what is there? Everything is okay in ice, and some bare rocks exposed. Some bare rocks are exposed, and these are referred as what? These are referred as a Nuntak. So that's why, what is the definition for Nuntak you are finding? It is an exposed, often rocky element, a ridge or a mountain or a peak not covered with ice or snow. So as we discussed, it is a bare rock. It is not covered with ice or snow. It is coming out of ice or snow. This is called as what? This is called as a Nuntak. Sometimes we call Nuntak also as what? We also as a glacial island. We call Nuntak also as which type of island? Glacial islands. So what is a Nuntak? It is a bare part, rocky part which is coming out of ice or snow, not covered with ice or snow. And these are also referred as which? These are also referred as a glacial island. Fine. In polar region. either in Arctic or in Antarctic region. Fine. Now the second thing that you're going to find is ice shelves. Now this is what you're finding a figure. What is this figure? So there is extension of ice. Ice is extended in the ocean. When ice is extended in the ocean, this part of ice is referred as what? This part of ice is referred as a ice shelves. So this part of ice is referred as a ice shelves. The part of the ice which is extended in the oceans is referred as what? Is referred as a ice shelves. Fine. So in Arctic and Antarctic region, you know that Antarctica is what? Continent. We have discussed where, and this is which oceans? You're going to find here Indian Ocean. You're going to find here what? Pacific Ocean. You're going to find here what? Atlantic Ocean. So you're going to find all these oceans. So when part of ice is extended in the oceans, it is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a ice shelves. It is going to be called as a ice shelves. And when this ice is broken down, when this ice is broken down, what will happen? Then it will starts to float where? In the water. So when this part of the ice is broken down, since it is connected with right now with other ice, so it is not broken down. When it is not broken down, it is called as a ice shelves. But when it is broken down and float freely inside the water, then it is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a iceberg. Then it is going to be called as what? Then it is going to be called as a iceberg. Remember Titanic clash with iceberg and etc. So what is iceberg? Iceberg is nothing but a freely floating ice. Freely floating ice. When ice shelves get broken, it forms what? It forms a iceberg. So that's why you have these two definitions. It is ice shelves is what? It is a thick floating platform of ice that forms where a glacier or ice sheet flows down a coastline onto the ocean surface. So when the ice shelves extend to the oceans, when ice extend to the ocean, it is going to be called as a ice shelves. They are found in Antarctica, Greenland, Canada, Russia. Those regions in upper polar region, you're going to find ice shelves. Fine. So this part, so this figure you are seeing, this is where ice is there. This part which is extending in the ocean is called as what? Ice shelves. The broken part is called as what? Iceberg. Okay, the broken part is called as a iceberg. Clear? So this is how the ice is extending under the ocean. This region is called as a ice shelf. When it melts, it broke down from this particular part, it becomes a iceberg. Clear? So that's why iceberg is what? Ice mountain or a large piece of freshwater ice that has broken off from the glaciers or ice shelves. So any part that is broken off from the glacier or ice shelves is going to be called as what? Is going to be called as a iceberg. Clear? So that's why you'll find this type of what? You'll find this type of things floating under the water. This is iceberg, or much of the iceberg is below the water because ice is floating. So when ice is floating, most of the ice part is what? Under the water. Fine. So these are what? These are the three things that you are generally finding in what? Generally finding in the polar region, either in Arctic or Antarctic. Noontak concept, iceberg and ice shelves. Fine. Now we are coming to the concept of what? Concept of glaciation. What is a glaciation? It is a formation, movement and recession of glaciers. Clear? So on the mountain, sometimes you see glaciers can be down, glacier can melt, glacier can move down. So the glaciation is a formation, movement and recession of glacier. Glaciation was more extensive in the past. Why it was more extensive in the past? Because Earth was colder. But now what is happening with the global warming and etc., glaciation has reduced. So it was more extensive in the past when most of the continent are covered with the ice sheet. Currently, how much glacier is there? Glacier is forming 10% of world's land area. So how much the glacier is covering right now? It is forming 10% of the world's land area. So Antarctic region, Antarctic continent, entirely glacier region. Fine. So glaciation currently we are seeing where in the mountain region are either in Antarctica region or in Greenland region. These are the regions where we are currently seeing the glaciation. So in highland region, mountain region, in Antarctica and Greenland. So this process is referred as what? This process is referred as a glaciation process. So what is glaciation? It is a formation of glacier, movement of glacier, and melting of glacier, recession of glacier. Clear? So these three together is called as what? These three together is called as a glaciation process. Clear? Formation of glacier, movement of glacier, and recession of glacier together is called as a glaciation process. Fine. So on the mountains, when mountains are covered with a glacier, you can see this is a mountain, highland part. This part, when it is covered with a glacier, is going to be called as what? Is going to be called as a neve. Clear? So the top of the mountain, when it is covered with a glacier, it is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a neve. So what is a neve? It is a snow accumulated on the high mountain. Clear? What is a neve? It is a snow accumulated on high mountain which is compacted into ice. So what is a neve? Neve is a snow accumulated on the high mountain which is compacted into ice. Okay. So you are seeing like this. So you are seeing like this. Now snow is being over here. The snow is compacted into ice. When more ice is being formed, what will happen? It becomes thicker and thicker. When it becomes thicker and thicker, what will happen? It will come down in the under the influence of whom? Gravity. Because if its mass increases, gravity is going to nothing but okay, what? Attract it more. So that's why when it comes down, it is called as a flow of glacier. When it comes down from the top of mountain towards the bottom, it is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a flow of glacier or a river of ice. Ice is moving down, so we call it as a river of ice. Fine. Clear? So what is a neve? Neve is nothing but okay, snow are deposited on the top of the mountain. That is called as a neve. And when neve becomes okay much more compact, they starts to come down under the influence of gravity, which we call as what? Which we call as a glaciers. Flow of glaciers. Fine. So this is what you are finding with regard to neve, and this is how the glacier starts to come down. This is how the glacier starts to move down under the influence of gravity. You can see this is how the glacier starts to move down. So basically, when glacier is moving down, you are finding which type of shape? You are finding which type of shape? You are finding a tongue shape. So you are seeing this shape. It is a shape of what? Tongue. Okay, so tongue is okay. Your tongue is in the mouth is like this. Clear? So here what is happening? More wider as you come here, it is what becoming what? It is becoming narrower. That is okay there. Clear? So when glacier starts to move down, you will find this type of shape which is referred as a tongue shape. Why? Why? Because here the glacier is facing what? Glacier is facing the friction of the mountain. At the middle part, the glacier will move in a high. Glacier will move with a high speed. At the edges part, glacier will move with a low speed, because here more friction are there, here less friction are there. So that's why you will see more movement of glacier at the middle part, giving it which type of shape? Tongue shape. Clear?
This is an avalanche.
This is a avalanches. When more amount of when more amount of snow starts to come down, yes, you can call it as a avalanches. Clear? But normally also what will happen? Glacier moves down. Clear? The avalanches, when we call it as what? When you'll see sudden flow of nothing but ice starts to happen because of what? Because of earthquake, other regions, then you'll see nothing but what it is called as a avalanches. But normal time also you'll see what glacier, some of the glacier will move down. Why it will move down? Under the influence of gravity, so it will move down. So not huge amount of snow, but some amount of snow will flow down. So this is what we call as a glacial movement. Fine. Now, so this is what is indicated through this figure. So you are finding here river is glacier is moving with a more speed in this area and moving at the lesser speed at the edges part, because here the friction is there, rock is pulling the flow of glacier, but in the middle part glacier is not having any friction, so glacier is able to move with a more velocity over here. So this is what we call as a tongue-shaped glacier movement. So this is tongue-shaped glacier movement. So different rate of glacial movement. This part is moving with the less speed, this part is moving with more speed. Fine. Now you'll find there are three different type of glacier. These are referred as a Piedmont glacier, alpine glacier, and tide water glacier. So glacier we divided into three types. One is Piedmont glacier, another is called as a alpine glacier, and third is called as a tide water glacier. Clear? So if question comes, what are the types of glacier? You are going to explain Piedmont glacier, you're going to explain alpine glacier and tide water glacier. So the first is your alpine glacier. The glacier from the mountain, when it starts to flows down, it is called as what? It is called as which type of glacier? Alpine glacier. So what is alpine glacier? Glacier in mountain that flows down a valley is called as a alpine glaciers. From the top of the mountain, when glacier starts to move down, here you can see glacier starts to move down, then such type of glaciers are referred as what? Alpine glaciers. Alpine glaciers. So glacier from the mountain, when it starts to flows down, it is going to be called as which type of glacier? Alpine glacier. The second, when alpine glacier moves down, you will see formation of which type of glacier? You'll see formation of Piedmont glacier. So when alpine glacier move down and spread like this, when alpine glacier moves down and spread like this, then it forms which type of glacier? It forms a Piedmont glacier. So we call it as a bulb-like structure. Clear? Which is a structure? This one, bulb. So you'll see bulb is having how? So you'll find like this, and this is how the bulb is there. So this is which type of structure? This is going to be bulb-like structure. Fine. So when glacier moves down towards what? When glacier moves down towards the valley, you will see spreading of what? You will see spreading of this particular glacier. It will form a bulb-like structure, and such type of thing is called as what? Such type of things are called as a Piedmont glacier. So such type of things are going to be called as a Piedmont glacier. Fine. Now the third kind of glacier that you'll find is what? Tide water glacier. So third type of glacier that you're going to find is tide water glacier. So when glacier starts to move down into the sea in water, then it is going to be called as which type of glacier? Tide water glacier. So these are the three types of glacier that you have to keep in mind. Piedmont glacier, alpine glacier, and tide water glacier. Together they are referred as a fine. So what is difference between Neve and Untak? What is the difference between Neve and Untak? Huh?
sir. Nuntak is uncovered snow
Ah.
and Neve is covered snow.
Yeah, Neve is covered snow at the top of the mountain. Nuntak is what? Uncovered, which is found where Nuntak is found, where Neve is found. Where Nuntak is found, where Neve is found.
Neve on highlands,
Neve on highlands, yes, on the mountain, and where Nuntak?
in the polar
In the polar region, yes, in Arctic and Antarctic region. So those difference you keep in mind. Question might come, okay, in the examinations like this. So which of the glacial landforms is found in Arctic or Antarctic region? Which of the glacial landform is found in Arctic and Antarctic region?
So 1 year.
If it is more than one, you can also select more than one. 1, 2, and 3. Anyone else? 2. No, it is going to be 2 and 3. We discussed Nuntak and ice shelves are going to be found in what? It is found in Arctic and Antarctic region. So this is found in Arctic and Antarctic region, while Neve and moraines are generally seen where? In the highland, that is mountainous region. So these are also glacier landform, but seen in highland region. So those type of questions you will get in the case of prelims examination. Fluvial landform, what are being formed through the fluvial landform, what are being formed through glacial landform, what are being formed through wind landform, alien process. Okay, so those type of questions you are going to get in the case of examination. So remember, 3 types of glacier also we talked about: Piedmont Glacier, Alpine Glacier, and Tidewater Glacier. So Piedmont Glacier is what? What is alpine? First is alpine. What is alpine? When glacier starts to move down where? To the valley region. Then it is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a alpine. Then when this glacier which is moving down spread in a bulb like structure, then it is going to be called as what? Piedmont Glacier. And the third is when this glacier move into the oceanic or sea region, then it is going to be called as a tidewater glaciers. Fine. Now next we are coming to what? To the concept of plucking. So what is this plucking concept? As we just now discussed, glacier moves in which region? It is moving in a tongue-shaped region. So it is moving in which region? It is moving in a tongue-shaped region. Now what is happening is this particular part, as we discussed, is rock is there which is providing a friction, and this side also rock is there which is providing a friction, but in the middle part there is no rocks, no friction. So that's why glacier is moving with a higher speed. This particular part, when it is friction is there, what will happen? When friction will there, what will happen? Heat will generate, and you will also see because of friction what will happen? Some material will what? Some material will come out. So when some material will come out, what will happen? Crack will develop. So in this crack, what will happen? Glacier will get what? Deposited. In this crack, what will happen? Glacier get deposited because friction is there between glacier and rocks. So rocks will erode, the glacier will erode some part of the rocks, and in this crack what will be deposited? In this crack glaciers will nothing but deposited. So that is what it is written over here. As glacier move down a valley, friction causes what? Friction causes the glacier to melt and move into the cracks, and because of this glacier moving into the cracks, as we discussed, which type of weathering will occur? Which type of weathering will occur? Frost weathering. Yes. Okay. So last class we discussed concept of frost weathering. So this will move into what? This glacier will move into the water form and again convert back into ice form. This will put into what? This will put the force on the underlying rock, and this crack get widened, and this phenomena is referred as what? This phenomena is referred as a plucking process. Okay, so when glacier move down, which type of actions are going to be there? Plucking. So that is what is written: freezing and thawing action. So it will move into water, it will convert into ice. So that freezing and thawing action will happen, which will enlarge this crack, and this phenomena is referred as a which process? Plucking process. So in case of river water, we discussed which phenomena is taking place. In case of river water, which phenomena is taking place, which is dominating? Deposition is happening at the lower level, which is the phenomena that is dominating. Corrosion. What we have discussed is in river, what is dominating? Corrosion is dominating, whether vertical corrosion or whether horizontal corrosion. Here, what is dominating? Plucking is dominating. So if question comes, that which is the most dominant phenomena? Plucking is the most dominant phenomena in which type of erosion? Glacial erosion. Clear? So in glacier erosion, you'll find this particular phenomena which is called as a plucking. Fine. Now, as we discussed in the so we'll find two things. One is at the mountain or highland, and second we discussed you'll find in the polar region. Glaciers are found in these regions. So here we discuss which phenomena you're finding. Noon tak you are seeing. You're finding what? Iceberg, ice shelves. Those are the phenomena that you are seeing over here. And highland part, we discussed when glacier is moving down, it can create what? It can create either erosion also, and it can create either deposition also. So where erosion will happen? Where erosion will happen? When glacier is moving from the top, there erosion will happen because it is moving under influence of whom? Gravity. So glacier is moving under the influence of gravity. So here the glacier will erode. But when glacier will come to the lower part, what will happen? What will happen? They will start to deposit things. So deposition will happen where? In the lower part. Erosion will happen where? In the higher part. So that's why you'll have erosional landform also, and you'll have which type of landform? Depositional landform also. So at the mountain glacier, you'll find two type of landform, erosional landform also and depositional landform. Erosional landform at the highland region, depositional landform at the lowland region. Fine. Any doubt? Now, so this you are finding. What are the features you are finding with regard to glacial landforms? So you are finding features like cirque or cori, that is being found in the highland region. These are all erosional landforms. So if question comes, what are the erosional landforms? These are all your erosional landforms. Cirque or cori will find pyramidical peaks, berg-shunt, U-shaped glacial trough, hanging valley, and moraines. So all these six are what? All these six are glaciated highland landform. Highland means they are found at the top of the mountain. So cirque or a cori, artist or pyramidical peak, berg-shunt, U-shaped glacial trough, hanging valley, as well as moraines. All these six are what? All these six are the characteristic feature of glaciated highland. Fine. So just now we discussed which lakes, which is one lake we have discussed. Till now we have discussed three types of lake. Can anyone remember? One is Oxbow Lake, yes. Then Meander is not a lake. One is Oxbow Lake we have discussed. Another is what? Last class we discussed volcanic landforms, and we discussed one type of lake can form over there. What lake can form? Crater or crater or caldera lake. Okay, so one type of lake we have discussed is also crater or caldera lake. Another that you can find is what? Another that you can find is a cirque or cori lake. So another that you can find is what? Cirque or a cori lake. So you can see lakes can be formed through what? Through the volcanoes also. Lakes can form through the river also. Lakes can form through the glacier also. Clear? So another type of lake is what? Cirque or a cori. Lakes are due to what? These lakes are formed due to the glacier. These lakes are going to be formed through what? Glaciers. Clear? Any doubt regarding this one? So that's why our next topic, when we start with the lakes, you'll see lakes are formed due to various processes. It is not formed. There is also called as a tectonic lake. What is tectonic lake? That forms due to the plate movement. Glacial lake, that forms due to glaciers. you'll have a river lake, fluvial lake, that is formed due to the rivers. Then you have volcanic lake formed due to the volcanic eruption. So lakes can also be formed due to various processes. Clear? Any doubt regarding this one? So you might get a question also like this in the examination, that which of the following lake is formed due to volcanic process? Example, Crater Lake. Example can be given as Oxbow Lake. Example can be given as, okay, option can be given as what? Kori or Sirk Lake. So those type of things you can get in the case of examination. Fine. Any doubt regarding this particular part? So Kori or Sirk. Second is what? Artisan pyramidal peak. The third is Berkshire. Fourth is called as a U-shaped glacial trough. Fifth is called as what? Hanging valley. And sixth is called as a moraines. All these features you're going to find in a glacial highland. Clear? So the first we are taking up is what? Kori or a Sirk. Now you can find this is a figure. This is a figure. So you can see it is a lake that is formed where? That is formed at the mountains. This is a lake that is formed. So you can see this, as we discussed, when glacier move down, what will happen? It will erode. It will erode the rocks. Plucking, just now we discussed plucking phenomena. It will erode the rocks. So here what will happen? What will deposit over here? Okay, the glaciers will get deposit over here, and such type of lakes are going to be called as what? Such type of lakes are going to be called as a Kori lake or a Sirk lake. Such type of lakes are going to be called as a Kori lake or a Sirk lake. Clear? Any doubt regarding this particular thing? So the lake that is formed due to what? Due to nothing but, okay, plucking process in the mountain when glaciers is moving down. That type of lake is going to be called as a Kori lake or a Sirk lake. Fine. So, okay, just remember that this is a mountain. At the top of the mountain, you'll find a lake, and this lake is going to be called as what? Kori lake or a Sirk lake. Clear? Now, mountains you're going to find like this. So you can see many peaks are something that are what? Many mountains are coming and joining at one peak. Clear? So this is one shape of mountain, another shape of mountain, another shape of mountain, all coming and joining at what? Joining at nothing but, okay, single peak. So what you find over here is what? What you find over here is at the top of the peak, we discussed what is there? Neve is there. So you can see this is Neve. But where many things comes and join together, they are referred as which type of peak? They are referred as a pyramidal peak. So they are referred as what? Pyramidal peak. And one side is referred as what? One side is referred as artist. So you find this side is referred as an artist, and the entire peak is referred as which peak? Pyramidal peak. Clear? So this edge is called as what? This edge is called as a arte, and this peak is called as what? Pyramidal peaks. Clear? So three things, okay, you are seeing Kori or a Sirk lake, you are seeing artist, which is nothing but, okay, one of the edge, and the third is what? Third is nothing but, okay, pyramidal peak. Fine. So how do you define this Kori or a Sirk? So this, it is written as a Kori or a Sirk start as a snow patch on a cold mountain. So how it is starting? First, a snow patch will form at the cold mountain. The temperature must be low enough to allow the snow to remain all the years. So here glacier need to be there throughout the year, and under these conditions snow can accumulate and starts to move down. Snow can accumulate and start to move down. Due to temperature and pressure changes, snow becomes altered to ice, and when sufficient ice has been accumulated, it will begin downhill under the influence of gravity. So when it moves down under the influence of gravity, what will happen? It get deposited over here, and this is called as what? This is called as your Kori or a Sirk lake. Fine. Any doubt regarding this one? So any difference between these terms, Kori, Sirk, artist, and pyramidal peak? Any difference you are finding? Kori Sirk is what? These are the glacial lake where glaciers are going to get deposited. Artist is what? The edge, okay, of the mountain, and pyramidal peak is where all artists comes and join together. That is called as a pyramidal peak. Fine. So this is how, okay, you are finding. This is how you are finding. This is called as a pyramidal peak. This edge is called as a artist. And we discussed the depression where, okay, things are going to get deposited as called as a Kori or a Sirk lake. Fine. Next comes your what? You can see this particular figure. So as we discussed, this is what your lake, Kori or a Sirk lake. Now this part, this particular break that you are seeing between this ice and this ice is referred as what? Is referred as a Bergschrund. What is Bergschrund? Bergschrund is, okay, this gap. Bergschrund is, okay, this gap which is there between this ice and this ice. This gap is referred as what? This gap is referred as a Bergschrund. Clear? So now what is happening is, let's say we are saying snow is depositing over here, and this snow is start to move down. The snow is something that is, okay, starting to move down. When the snow will starts to move down, what will happen? It will create, okay, what? It will create a Kori or a Sirk lake. Clear? It will create a. So here you'll find snow. Here you'll see deposition of snow, and this then starts to move down from here. That is okay there. Clear? Any doubt regarding this part? Now there is, okay, two type of ice now: static ice and moving ice. What is moving ice? One that is moving down. What is a static ice? That is there at the top of the mountain. Clear? So that is a static ice, and one that is moving down is called as a moving ice. Fine. Now let's say now climate change is happening. Climate change is happening. Because of the climate change, formation of snow is less and movement is more to the downward. What will happen because of that? Snow is less formed and more glacier is something that is moving downward. What will happen? What will happen if glacier is now less formed because of climate change, because global warming is happening, climate is, okay, getting warmer. So now ice is, okay, what? Ice is not much forming. Okay, when ice is not much forming, but movement of ice is there downward. Clear? So what will happen? That space will created between what? Static ice and a moving ice. Okay, space will be created between static ice and moving ice. Okay, and this space is referred as what? This space is referred as a Bergschrund. Okay, this space is referred as a Bergschrund. Clear? So this Bergschrund creates a problem. Why it creates a problem? To the mountaineers. Any mountaineers which wants to climb the mountain, this Bergschrund create a problem, because then they have to what? They have to move here, jump from here to here, because of nothing but, okay, the breakage, okay, that is, okay, there. So it creates a problem to the mountaineers who are trying to climb the mountains. Clear? So what is a Bergschrund? Bergschrund is basically the gap that is existing between static ice and a moving ice. Okay, that gap is referred as nothing but, okay, Bergschrund. Clear? So you'll find this. So you can see this is, okay, what Bergschrund is all about. You can see this is a gap that is, okay, being created between the static ice and a moving ice. So this is going to create this gap is going to create problems to whom? To the mountaineers to climb. Okay, that is, okay, there. Clear? Or, okay, the more thing, you can also find a gap like this. Okay, so this is referred as what? This is referred as a Bergschrund phenomena. Clear? Any doubt regarding this one? So the gap between static ice and moving ice. And as we discussed, because of this gap, it creates problems to the mountaineers to climb from one region to another region. Clear? So what is a Bergschrund? It is deep crack or fracture that forms when moving glacier ice separates from stagnant ice. So what is a Bergschrund? How do you define Bergschrund? It is a deep crack or a fracture that forms where moving glacier ice separates from the stagnant ice. It is a serious obstacle to the mountaineers. Fine.
The big icebergs that we see on the photo that you showed of ice shelf, that is all water, all ice.
No, ice shelves is ice.
All ice.
All ice. All ice. This ice will form where? This ice will form where? It is going to form on a surface, no? So there is a surface. On surface you are seeing creation of nothing but okay, ice. Clear? When ice is broken down, then it becomes okay, what? Iceberg. Clear? Fine. Next, okay, U-shaped glacial trough. Another thing that you are finding is a U-shaped glacial trough. Now this is what you are finding, U-shaped glacial trough. So just now we discussed when rivers move. When rivers move, how rivers move? In a meandering fashion. When river move, how river move? It moves in a meandering fashion. But when glacier moves like which fashion? In a linear fashion. So glacier does not move in a meandering fashion. Water moves in a, okay, what? Water moves in a meandering fashion. Ice doesn't move in a meandering fashion. Ice moves like a linear one. Clear? So let's say this is okay, what? This is going to find which shape? U shape, because this is a linear one. This is one edge, this is one edge, and in between this this region you see ice is something that is okay, what? Ice is something that is okay moving. So that's why it is called as what? It is called as a U-shaped glacial trough. This is referred as what? U-shaped glacial trough. Clear? So remember that ice moves always in which manner? Linear manner. River moves always in which manner? In the meandering manner. So that's why you'll find this type of region. Now you can see this is okay, one of the region that is okay there. So here rivers are moving. When rivers are moving through the mountain, you'll see okay movement like this. But when glaciers are moving, you can see a linear motion is something that is okay there. Now it is creating which type of valley? U shape. Okay, it is creating which type of valley? U-shaped valley. So that is why it is called as what? U-shaped valley or U-shaped glacial trough. Trough means what? Like crest, we discuss high point. Trough means what? Low point. So this is okay. Trough is not going to be in what? V shape. It is going to be in which shape? U shape. Okay. So this is going to be in which shape? Remember wave we discuss what? This is a crest part. This is nothing but okay, trough part. So it is in which shape? It is generally in, okay, you are finding curve V shape, okay, that is okay there. But when okay it becomes like this, then what will happen? It is going to be called as a U-shaped glacial trough. Okay, it is going to be called as a U-shaped glacial trough. Clear? Any doubt regarding this one? So remember, ice always move in a straighter path in a linear manner, and because of this you'll see a U-shaped glacial trough being created. Clear? Any doubt regarding this particular thing? So that's why if you see the definition U-shaped glacial trough, they have a U shape with steep straight side and a flat bottom. With a steep straight side and flat bottom. So you have like this. So this side are very steep and with flat bottom. Okay. So that is what we call as a U-shaped glacial trough. These are formed when glacial travel across down a slope. So we discussed when glacial travels in a linear manner, then U-shaped glacial troughs are being formed. And when the ice recede or thaws, so when glacier melt, then you will find large boulder over here or small boulder over here, which are called as a glacial till or glacial erratic. Clear? So when ice, which is okay flowing, when ice melt, you're gonna find when ice will move, what will happen? As we discussed, it will erode, so it will carry a lot of material. So when ice will melt, these materials are going to be there. These are called as your glacial till or glacial erratic. Clear? So where the ice will melt? In the highland region or in the lowland region? In the lowland. Highland already temperature is low. So when glacier will move down, when it will come to the lowland region, then what will happen? The glacier will melt. So glacial till is going to be feature of whom? Lowland. Just now we discussed highland features. So highland features are what? Bergschund. Highland features are what? Artisan pyramidical peak. Highland features are what? Kori and Sirk. Okay, that is okay there. Highland features are what? U-shape, glacial trough. All these features are what? Highland features. So when glacier will move down, as we discussed, as it is coming down, glacier will melt. When it will melt, what will happen? Only boulders will be visible, and these boulders are going to be called as what? These boulders are going to be called as a glacial till. Okay, so glacial till is a which type of feature? It is going to be a lowland features. Fine. Fine. Anyone having any doubt? Any doubt? No. So here, when you are seeing this figure, you can see this is covered with what? This is covered with the ice. Now when ice will melt, what will happen? You can see small boulders which are visible, they becomes what? They becomes more visible. They becomes more visible because now ice has melted. So that's why you'll find this type of figure. You'll find this type of figure which is called as a glacial till. So when ice melt, what is left behind? Boulders are something that are left behind. These boulders are referred as what? These are referred as a glacial till. These are referred as what? These are referred as a glacial till. Clear? Any doubt regarding this one? So when ice melts down, the small boulders, okay, that are there will become more visible, and this is going to be called as what? This is going to be called as a glacial till. So where ice will melt, in the lowland region it will melt. So that's why glacial till is okay, feature of lowland. Fine. Now next part is hanging valley. Now this is okay, what? This is a valley from where ice is coming. Like we discussed, rivers is flowing. So like we discussed, okay, rivers is flowing and tributaries are coming and joining the river. Like that, when glaciers are flowing, some glaciers may also come and join what? The main glacier. So some glacier may also come and joins the main glacier. So this was the main glacier region. And this is okay, what? The tributary that is coming and joining the main glacier. This is tributary that is coming joining the main glacier. When main glacier melts, tributary do not melt, then it is going to be called as what? Then it is going to be called as a hanging valley. Clear? So here, okay, what? Something is hanging from the top. Okay, something is hanging from the top. What is hanging? The ice is hanging from the top, which was earlier joining the main valley, but now main valley has melted. So only, okay, what will happen? The upper one is left. So that is why it is called as what? It is called as a hanging valley. Fine. So what is the definition for hanging valleys? It is saying the main valley is eroded much rapidly than the tributary valley, as it contains a much larger glacier. So that's why the tributary valley hangs above the main valley. So this is called as what? This is called a hanging valley, or we also call it as a waterfall. Which type of waterfall? Ice waterfall or glacier waterfall. Clear? So what are the highland features we have discussed? The first is what? Kuri or a circle. The second feature is what? U-shaped glacial trough. The third is hanging valley. The fourth is Bergschund. The fifth is what? Artes and pyramidal peak. So those are okay, what? Those are the highland features we have discussed. The last highland features is what? Moraines. So moraines is both feature, highland feature also and lowland feature also. Moraines is categorized as both features. Some moraines are found in highland, some moraines are also found in a lowland. Clear? What is a moraines? Now this is okay, your moraines. Clear? So moraines can be classified into three different types also: lateral moraines, medial moraines, and moraines. You can see this type of, okay, moraines are there. That's why moraines can be found in highland also and the lowland also. So we discussed when glacier are moving down, what will happen? Glacier will erode the material, and when this eroded material are deposited at the center, then it is going to be called as which type of moraine? Medial moraine. When eroded materials are deposited at what? At the edges. When eroded material are deposited at the edges, then it is going to be called as which moraine? Lateral moraines. And at the end, when, okay, glacier is depositing, then it is going to be called as a which type of moraine? End moraine. Okay, at the end, when glaciers are depositing these, okay, eroded material, then it is going to be called as a end moraine. So end moraine is going to be features of what? Lowland features. While, okay, medial, lateral, you can find it at what? Highland. Okay, medial and lateral moraines you can find also at the highland. So that's why moraines can be both type of feature. It can be what? It can be lowland features also. It can be nothing but, okay, highland features also. Fine. So what is moraines? What is a moraines? The eroded material that glacier brings. This can be deposited either at the center. If it is deposited at the center, medial moraine, or on the sides, then it is going to be called as what? Lateral moraine, or at the end, then it is going to be called as a end moraines. Fine. So what is the definition for moraines? Clear? It is called as an accumulation of rock debris carried or deposited by a glacier. So whatever the debris of the rock, whatever eroded part of the rock that is deposited by the glacier is called as what? Is called as a moraines. The material ranges in size. So you may have a bigger material also, you may have a smaller material also, like smaller sediments like clay, bigger sediments like sand, boulders, pebbles, all those things you can find. So this is called as a moraines, and already we discussed three classification of moraines: lateral moraine, medial moraine, and end moraine. Fine. So these are the highland features that you have to keep in mind. What are the highland features? Cirque or Correlate. Second is what? U-shaped glacial trough. Third is moraines. Fourth is Bergschrund. Fifth is what? Artist and pyramidal peak. And last is hanging valley. Okay, so those are the 6 types of highland features. Now we are coming to the lowland features. So what are the lowland features that you're going to find? So lowland features are your Roche Mountain, Craig and Tail, Boulder Clay, or Glacial Till. Just now we discussed Glacial Till, that when ice will melt, what will happen? Only the boulders will be visible. That is going to be called as a Glacial Till. As we discussed, moraines. Moraines is also a lowland feature. End moraines or terminal moraines. Then you have drumlins and iskers. Okay, so these are the landforms of glaciated lowland. So Roche Mountain or Mountoni, it is also referred as a term Mountoni or mountain. Craig and Tail, Boulder Clay or Glacial Till, Drumlin, Isker, and Terminal Moraine or End Moraine. These are the lowland features. Clear? So you may get a question also like this in the examination. Which of the following landform is created at the glaciated highland? Which of the following landform is created through glaciated highland? Except for 2, 3, 5. 2 and 3. So glaciated highland, drumlin is a feature of lowland. It is not a feature of highland. Just now we discussed glaciated lowland. These are going to be formed in what? Lowland region, not in highland region. Clear? So drumlin is not there. Glacial till also is which type of lowland region? Glacial till also you are finding in the lowland region. Highland region, what you are finding? Moraines you are finding U-shaped glacial trough that you are finding in the highland region. And lagoon is not at all related with what? Glacier. We discussed lagoon is related with what? River. So it is not a glaciated landforms itself. Okay. So that's why answer will be what? 2 and 3. So they might give you a question like this, which is at the highland, which is formed at the lowland, or which is glacial landform, which is a river landform. This type of questions can come in the case of examination. Fine. So the first thing that you are finding at the lowland is Roche Mountain. It is also referred as which type of rock? Sheep rock. Okay, this is also referred as a sheep rock. Clear? So when the glacier is moving, you'll find one side will have very smooth slope, and on the other side you'll find very nothing but abraded slopes. It will be steep slope, it will be gradual slope, it is a smooth. Okay, while here what will happen, it will be nothing but more rough. So when such type of things appear, this is going to be called as what? Roche Mountain or a sheep rock. Okay, this is called as a Roche Mountain or sheep rock. So you can see it is written solid rock can be polished, scraped and scratched by the glacier. So when glacier is moving from here to here, ice is moving from here to here, this particular part will be more smooth, while the other part will be nothing but more rough. Side opposite is steep and jagged from rock being pulled away by the ice. So this becomes more rough. So this phenomena is referred as what? This phenomena is referred as the Roche Mountain, or this type of a structure landform is referred as a Roche Mountain. Fine. So ice has to move from where to where? From here to here. So the part that is facing the ice will be more polished, but the part that is away from the ice, when ice will come down from here to here, it will create nothing but a very steep slopes, abraded rocks are going to be there. Clear? And rough things are going to be created. So this is called as a Roche Mountain. Fine. Indo. So this is what this figure is trying to indicate. So ice is moving from where to where? Ice is moving from, you can see the direction of ice. It is moving from here to here. So this particular part of the this particular part will be more polished in nature. This particular part will be nothing but more rough in nature. In case of nothing but Roche Mountain. Fine. Because plucking is dominating. You can see plucking is dominating. When glacier moves down, what will happen? We discuss. It will create what? Friction. Here glacier is moving opposite to what? Gravity. No. In this, when glacier is moving here opposite to the gravity, here what will happen? Glacier is moving along with the gravity that is there. So here plucking will dominate. Here the plucking will not dominate because glacier is moving away from what? Away from the gravity. So as a result here what? Polishing will occur. Here nothing but erosion will occur. Fine. Because let's say this rock is already in the path of the glacier. Let's say we discuss glacier always moves in which path? Linear path. We discuss glacier always move in a linear path, doesn't move in a this path. Let's say already there is one rock located over here. When glacier is something that is moving down. So what will happen? Now the glacier has to move above this particular rocks to come down what? To come down to the other side. So that's what is happening. So here polishing will happen. Here what will happen? We'll see abrasion or plucking will dominate. Fine. So this is how you are finding in reality Roche Mountain. This particular side and this particular side you are finding Roche Mountain. In reality you are finding like this. Second concept is a Craig and tail concept. Second concept is what? Craig and tail concept. Now the ice is moving what? Ice is moving like this. Movement of ice is like this. Now this part is harder rock, while this part is a softer rock. Ice is moving like this. This is a harder rock and nothing but softer rock that is there. Clear? Now when ice is moving, is encountering which type of rock? Harder rock. It is encountering the harder rock, while the softer rocks are something that are protected from the erosion, and as a result what will happen? As a result, what will happen? This part is referred as a crag and this part is referred as nothing but tail. Okay, so the softer part is referred as a tail. This part is referred as nothing but crag. Clear? So it is written as it is partly erosional and partly depositional feature. The rock facing the ice, so this part is facing the ice, is steepened by the glacial erosion. So this will face much of nothing but erosion because ice is coming over here. Softer rock on the other slope, so this is other slope, softer rock on the other slope is protected from the erosion, which will form a tail. So this is what we call as a crag and tail. It can form a hanging valley. No, hanging valley will form when the glacier will move like this. When glacier will move from the top, here the glacier is moving from where to where? In the horizontal manner. It is moving from horizontal manner. So when it is moving horizontal manner, this part it is glacier is encountering. So glacier is eroding this part, but softer part it is not eroding. Clear? Because glacier has to then move on to the side. Harder part it is more eroding and softer part it is not eroding. So that's why you see crag and tail phenomena. So the first, you are seeing is a Roche mountain. Roche mountain is also referred as which type of rock? Sheep rock. The second you are seeing is what? Crag and tail. Crag and tail is when ice is eroding the harder one, but the softer is protected by the harder rock. Then you see crag and tail formation. The third type already we have discussed is what? Is a glacial tail. So we discussed when ice melt. So we discussed when ice melt, what will happen? Boulders are left behind, and these boulders are referred as what? Glacial till. Okay, so just now we discussed the U-shaped trough. So in U-shaped trough, you are seeing nothing but glaciers are there. But when glacier will come to the lowland, glacier will melt, and when glacier will melt, what will happen? Boulders are going to left behind. This is called as what? This is called as a glacial till. So it is written as unsorted stratified material deposited within a glacial ice. So what is a glacial till? It is an unsorted stratified material deposited beneath and within glacial ice. And it is a heterogeneous. Heterogeneous means what? Different materials are there. Small sediments also, bigger sediments also. So different sediments are something that are there. That's why they are unsorted. They are not arranged in a particular manner. They are unsorted. Fine. So you can see here bigger material is also there, smaller material is also there. Here you see bigger material, smaller material. So they are unsorted. Clear? So that's why it is referred as what? Unsorted stratified material deposited within the glacial ice. So when ice will melt, this becomes visible and it is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a glacial. Fine. The next figure that you are seeing is with regard to drumlins. Now this is how drumlins are going to be formed. This is drumlins. When rivers are flowing like this, as we discussed, the crag part and the tapered and tail form that you are seeing. When many are like this, then it is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a drumlins. So you have seen spoon. Spoon is like this now. When you invert the spoon, which shape you are going to get? You are going to get this particular shape when you invert. So that is why drumlins are in which shape? Inverted spoon shape. Drumlins are in which shape? Inverted spoon shape. Clear? In reality, you will find like this. You'll see many like this. When you see many features like this, it is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a drumlins. Okay, it is going to be called as a drumlins. Okay, so because ice is moving in this direction, we discussed this part will be more eroded and this part will be nothing but more protected. Remember crag and tail concept we have discussed. So because of that, what will happen? You'll see inverted spoon shape formation, and this is going to be referred as what? Drumlins. Okay, so that's what it is written. It is an elongated hill in the shape of inverted spoon or half buried egg. So what is drumlins? It is a elongated hill in the shape of what? In the shape of inverted spoon or half buried egg formed by glacial ice. Fine. So this is all about the term drumlin. So okay, remember that drumlins are found like this. Many spoon-shaped elongated hills you are going to find. So this is referred as a drumlins part. The last that you find is Easker. The last that you find is a Easker. So basically this is Easker. What you are seeing, this is a narrow region. This narrow region that you find, okay, this is called as a long narrow region. This long narrow region is referred as what? It is referred as a Easker. Clear? So this is okay referred as a Easker. So it is saying Easker is a long, narrow, winding ridge. Ridge means what? Highland part. Okay, so other side you are seeing water, and in the middle you are finding nothing but okay ridge of stratified sand and gravel deposited by the glaciers. So glacier is depositing this okay long narrow ridge, and this is called as what? This is called as a Easker. So this is what the range. Range of Easker may be 16 to 160 feet in height, 160 to 160 600 feet in width, and few hundred feet to tens of miles in length. Clear? So these are basically the width, height, and length of Easker is being given. Okay. So what is a Easker? It is a long, narrow ridge. Ridge means high part. And why this ridge is formed? Due to deposition by whom? Glacier. Clear? Fine. Any doubt regarding this one? So this is how you are finding Easker. When glacier is melting, you see nothing but okay, what water is going to be there, and this long narrow ridge is formed. Even when water is not there, you'll find this is how ridge is going to look like. Okay, so this is okay, the deposited one, and these are okay. When water will further melt, water will not be there. Then you'll see nothing but okay, this narrow ridge is going to be called as what? Easker. Clear? So clear the difference between drumlin and Sker. Drumlin is what? Inverted spoon shape elongated hills, and what is okay Easker? Narrow ridge, okay, that has been created by whom? Deposition by the glacier. Clear? So this is all about what? This is all about nothing but okay the glacial landforms. Clear? So this is okay the questions which have been asked previously in the examinations. So yet now we have discussed okay the concept of fold. Okay, we have discussed the fold mountain concept, but earthquake and volcanic eruption we'll discuss with the plate tectonics part. So this has been asked previously in the case of examination, these two questions. Let's explain formation of okay thousands of islands, how islands are being formed, and how nothing but okay fold mountains are creating earthquake and volcanic eruption. So these questions are related with the plate tectonics part. Okay, so tomorrow we'll start with concept of plate tectonics, then we'll okay discuss these questions. Clear? Fine. So these are okay what? These are the landforms that are created by whom? Rivers and glaciers. So what are the landform created by the rivers? In upper course, what you are going to see? In upper course, what you are going to see? Gorges. Yes, you are going to see. Yes. So you're going to see gorges, waterfall. You're going to see what? River capture. What is the difference between gorges as well as okay canyons? How do you differentiate gorges and canyons? Yeah, greenery or vegetation on the side of the slope, but okay the canyon do not have these vegetations, and these they are generally seen in a desert area. Yes. Then we discuss what you find in the middle course. Yeah, meander, interlocking spur, and river, cliff or slip of slopes, okay, that you find in the okay the middle one. And what is the lower one? Deltas, oxbow lakes, and lagoons and estuaries. Okay, even estuaries we have discussed, okay, which are finding in the lower course. What is the difference between estuaries and lagoons?
Estuaries will go into the ocean,
Ah,
and lagoon is enclosed area.
Yeah, lagoon is when the water is cut off from the main water, then it is going to be called as what? Lagoon. When river comes and joins the joins the oceans without any what sediment deposition, etc., then it is going to be called as what? Estuaries. Clear? Which type of river shows estuaries in India? Which type of west flowing river? Yes, okay. So in India, west flowing rivers are forming estuaries, east flowing rivers are forming what? Deltas. Clear? So that's why you'll be studying about Kaveri deltas, Godavari deltas, okay? Because east flowing rivers are going to form nothing but okay deltas, and west flowing rivers are going to form your estuaries. So these are landforms created by whom? Landform created by the rivers. Okay. Then we discussed okay the landform created by the glacier can be created either in Arctic or Antarctic region, or can be created other in mountain region. So in Arctic, Antarctic, we have discussed Nuntak. We have discussed what? Iceberg, ice shelves. Those are the things you are seeing in Arctic and Antarctic region. In case of mountain, it can be classified into highland region or lowland feature. Highland features and lowland features. So you'll see deposition of neve at the top of the mountain. Then highland. What are the highland features? Kori or Silk Lake, then Artisan Pyramidal Peak, then U-shaped glacial trough, hanging valleys, then moraines and Bergschen. Okay, so those are the 6 you are finding at the island feature. What are the lowland feature? The Sheep Rock or Roche Mountain. The second is what? Craig and Tail. The third is what? Yes, okay. The glacial till. Fourth is what? Craig and Tail. Yes, Drumlin. Fourth is Drumlin. Fifth is what? Easker. And last is what? Terminal moraines. Okay, so moraines we discuss is a both feature. Highland feature also, lowland feature also. As moraines are divided into 3 types. That is medial moraine. If deposition is happening at the center, then it is going to be called as a medial moraine. If it is happening at the edges, then it is going to be called as what? Lateral moraine. And if it is going to have at the end, then it is going to be called as what? Terminal moraine. So this is all about glaciers as well as rivers. The third we have to discuss is wind. Clear? So landforms are okay. As we discuss, another agent of erosion is what? Wind. And wind is more dominant where? Where the wind is going to be more dominant? As we discussed, in desert region, where there is no obstruction to the flow of what? Where there is no obstruction to the flow of wind. Clear? So in desert, since there is no obstruction to the flow of wind, much of wind related landforms where you are going to see in the desert region. Okay, so much of wind related landforms you are going to see in a desert region. Clear? Now most of the hot desert that you are finding is found where? Is found in torrid zone. Yes, okay, it is going to be found in torrid zone between Tropic of Capricorn to Tropic of Cancer. Torrid means okay between Tropic of Capricorn to Tropic of Cancer. This is torrid zone. It also include equator, but it is this region. This is called as a whole of torrid zone. Clear? Beyond this lies a temperate zone. Beyond Tropics of Cancer and Capricorn lies a temperate zone. And beyond your Arctic and Antarctic circle, you have polar zone or frigate zone. Okay, so 3 different zones are there. So when we are talking about torrid zone, we are talking about between Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn. Clear? So much of the hot desert lies in this region, and they always lies on the western margin. They always lies on which margin? Western margin. Western margin means this side. So that's why you'll see the map, and you'll just okay. Today homework is go and see the map. Where you'll find the map is on the western margin, and in case of nothing but okay what? In case of okay this region. Within the torrid region, as we discussed, equator will not have much of what? Much of desert. Most of the desert you're gonna find either in Tropic of Cancer or in Tropic of Capricorn. Clear? So most of the desert you'll find over here. Equator region you'll not find any desert. So most of the desert you're gonna find in Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. If you see Africa, you'll see Tropic of Cancer passes over here, Tropic of Capricorn passes over, and Equator passes over here. You don't find any desert over here, but you'll find desert over here, Sahara Desert. You'll find Namib and Kalahari Desert over here. Clear? So most of the deserts are found at the tropic region, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, and they always lies on the western margin. Okay. So today homework is what? Just go and see the distribution of desert on the, okay, what, on the map. Clear? And tomorrow, okay, just, okay, try to find out why they are located on the western margin. Clear? So tomorrow we'll discuss why these are located on the western margin. Why not eastern margin? If they are found at the tropics, they can be also found on the eastern margin. So why they are not located at the eastern margin? So that we'll take up in the tomorrow's class, and we'll discuss wind related landforms. What are the landforms created by wind? Then we'll move on to the plate tectonics part. Fine. Any doubt regarding this one? Thank you. Thank you for today.